Oh. Hola, amigos. Saw a red bird out here a little bit ago. It's a cardinal. Looks like a cardinal, but I always thought cardinals were a little bit bigger. This was kind of smaller. No, sitting on the ground, head was about maybe that high off the ground, 4 inches maybe. Pretty small. But it was bright red and had that short little fat beak. Maybe it was a cardinal, I don't know. How we all doing today? Gentle here. Am I feeling better? A lot better than I was yesterday. What a ordeal I've been through. It's not that big of an ordeal unless you go through it yourself. Oh man. Well, let me put my things on here so you guys can hear me better. Let's do this here. Folks, it was just, let me button up. Oh, and by the way, whoever gave me that cross, thank you so much. I really like that. I really like the thing. It's like, let me get you in close here. It's like horseshoe nails. See the square horseshoe nails? Okay, and they wrapped it with something like a copper wire and brass wire or something like that. Anyway, it's real pretty. I like it. I'm very happy with that. I'm not sure who gave that to me, somewhere during the convoy, but thank you very much. It was a very nice gift. I want to say it was when we were down in Austin. If I remember right. We went down to the Austin rally. I think it was that. It's been so much stuff happened in the first part of this year. So much happened. All right. Okay, you should be able to hear me pretty good now, right? 1, 2, 3. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. All right, what happened? A couple weeks ago, 2.5 weeks ago now, I think, come home. I got a load out of Albuquerque. I left Albuquerque, went down to El Paso, picked up the tanker that was going to Gary, Indiana, and made a deal with Choice. I needed to get home. I need things to do. Had a laundry list of stuff to do, and so I told Choice I'd pick it up in El Paso and bring it to Dallas, and they could repower it with somebody else. And they were happy to, because there was a guy sitting here in Dallas ready to pick it up, or he would be here. So I left El Paso, came over and dropped the trailer right behind the shop here. Told him where it was at. The driver called me, and I told him where the shop was and the whole 9 yards. And we got in here, and he just come in and picked it up one afternoon when I was sitting at home. All right. Many things I had to do. One of them was, remember the cargo trailer out there? Sold the cargo trailer and had to deliver it to Kansas City. That was part of the deal. I'd deliver it to them. So I waited till the weekend, and Pam and I run up there together. And on the way up, I've been looking for a school bus. I want to buy a school bus and build it out to a motorhome, a little RV motorhome. Just like the van outside, just a bigger version of that. And I think I've got the money situation worked out to where it'll be about a wash. What I can do is sell the van as is for a high price, or I can gut it and bring it down to a normal price, a van price. Use the van to trade in for a new or fairly new Jeep Gladiator. So I use the bus as a home, and it'll be a stationary unit. You pick it up and you drive from point A to point B. It becomes home base, and then you use the Jeep to drive around and go check things out. You pack up and move over to another home base and drive the Jeep around checking things out. And you just move around the country that way. So it's what I wanted to do a long time ago, and never could quite get it to work out. Finally, I think I got it. So anyway, there was a pretty good looking bus up in Arkansas that I wanted, up in northwest Arkansas, and I wanted to go up and look at it. And it was on the way to Kansas City, where I was taking the cargo trailer. So we left on Saturday early morning, drove up there, looked at the bus, and then after the bus, it was okay, nothing wrong with it, but it wasn't any nicer than any other buses that I've seen elsewhere. It was low mileage. It was an 04. It was an 04. Okay, Mud Pig's going to call me apparently. Anyway, it wasn't any nicer than any other bus. It was an 04 and it had a, or no, what year was it? Gosh, I don't remember. I've looked at so many buses over the last couple weeks, 3 weeks, or a month. I've looked at so many of them. But anyway, it had a international DD 466E model motor, okay? Everything good about that. DT 466 is a great motor. It's the E. That's the problem with that motor. I guess in the mid to late 90s, about 94, somewhere along in there, 96, somewhere in the mid 90s, they went to an electronic fuel injection system called a HUEI system, H-U-E-I, HUEI system. And it was a hydraulically activated injector nozzle system. And that's about all I know about it. But somehow it's hydraulically activated off the engine oil. And it's a good system until something goes wrong, and then it's extremely hard to diagnose and fix and get right again. You know, once they go bad, they're kind of hard to fix, I guess. I don't know. But I read up a lot of the forums, and I asked a friend of mine who's a diesel mechanic, you know, one of my old mechanics that retired. I called him and asked him. He knows a lot about those kind of motors. I know about big truck motors. I don't know about medium-sized motors like buses and dump trucks and, you know, the smaller mid-range engines. You know, your 7, 8 liter, your 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 liter engines. I don't know much about them. You get to your 13 and 15 liter engines, I know more about those. Anyway, so it had a motor in it, but I just wasn't sold on them. I really liked the International D466 motor, but it's an inline 6. What I like about it is a big, huge block, big old heavy block. It doesn't put out a ton of horsepower, good torque, and they just run forever, from what I understand. They just do not break. They work forever, as long as it's a mechanical pump. But when you put that electronically controlled hydraulic actuated pump on there, they have problems with that. So they have problems with the E. DT466E, the E is the problem. So I said no to that and kept it going. I mean, if it was a wonderful, perfect bus, you know, looked like it was brand new or something, that'd be one thing. But I don't know. I figured I can keep looking. All right, and then I found another bus that was down in Waco. It was one of the newer style buses. You know, the old style buses that we all grew up as kids growing up? Well, the school buses you see out there driving around now, they have that newer modern shape to them. The one in Waco was that new modern shape. The problem I had with it was already a lot of stuff was done to it, and he was asking a good price for it. And he had already taken a lot of the windows out and put sheet metal over where the windows, he didn't want windows to be, put sheet metal. Problem was there was a couple windows that he put in or left in that I didn't want, and there was a place where I wanted a window that was already covered over. So I'd had to change a lot of that stuff around. So, you know, it was already spray foam insulated, the whole 9 yards. It had a new floor in it, everything, seats were all gone. He had a lot of work done to it. It was an 07, if I remember right. It's an 07, so it was a pre-emission motor, but it was a C7 Cat. And I did a little bit of research on them, and they're an okay motor. There wasn't anything special about them. They didn't last a million years and all that. It was a good motor, but nothing great. And one of the things I liked about the DT466 is it's a wet sleeve motor, which means where the piston goes up and down, there's like a pipe that piston goes up and down in. And when that all wears out, you can take the piston out, you can take that pipe out, that wet sleeve, and put a new wet sleeve in it and put a new piston in it. You can rebuild them pretty easy, do an in-frame. That's what these trucks are like. These big motors that I have here, they have a wet sleeve system. A dry sleeve is a system where once that piston wears out in the rings and everything, you pull that out. Now you got to rebore the cylinder walls. And bore them out slightly. In other words, where it's all worn out, you just hone that all out with a machine, and it bores it out a bigger hole. So you have to put a slightly bigger piston and bigger rings in, and you can overhaul. But that's an extremely expensive process. And as cheap as those motors are, you might as well just take it out and throw it away and put a new motor in. And the C7 Cat doesn't have that. It has the dry sleeve instead of the wet sleeve. So I wasn't too interested in that. And then, and if I remember right, it had like 180,000 miles, or I can't remember. I've looked at so many, but I liked it because it was a lot of the work was done on it already, but not a lot of the. I don't know. There was things I was like, I don't know. I can do so much of that work myself. Instead of buying it, he wanted $20,000 for it. Instead of a $20,000 bus, buy a $5,000 bus. I can do all that work myself and have less money into it at the same thing, and get the exact windows that I want put in, a better motor, fewer miles, the whole everything, So I decided against that one. Anyway, went up to Kansas City, delivered the trailer, came back home on Sunday, and on Monday, the 4th of July, took off and went over to where did we go to? Longview. Went over to Longview, looked at a church bus over there. What it was is an old school bus that the church had bought, cleaned up a little bit and done stuff to it. But they wanted $15,000 for it, and it wasn't worth that, but it had extras on it. It had an Onan generator, the same Onan generator right there that you saw me turn off, that Onan 7.5 kilowatt generator, and it had 2 of the air conditioner up there, those air conditioner units. It had 2 of those in there. And I think, okay, that's a plus. It's not worth quite as what he was wanting for it, but it was a plus. Went over and looked at it, and the bus, just the inside, the inner liner had rust on it. If that's rusty, God knows what else is going to be rusty on them, and you don't want to buy a rusty bus. So, and then the way the generator was mounted in there, it was extremely hard to do an oil service to it and stuff, get the filters off and things like this. So I passed on that one too. I figured, I just keep looking. I'll find a $5,000 bus that I really like. Lo and behold, that night, Monday night, come home and was looking around on the internet, and boom, I run across a bus. Nice one. So I run across this bus. It's a 94, a little bit older, isn't it? That's what I like about it. It's an older bus because it has a 5.9 Cummins, that pickup motor they put in Cummins, the 5.9 liter, 12 valve. Mechanical 12 valve, and only has 117,000 miles on it. So it's a 28-year-old bus. It's a 28-year-old bus and 117,000 miles on it. That works out to about 5,000 miles a year. Pretty low miles. It's a diesel, so I mean those motors are good for 300,000-400,000 miles if you treat them right and everything. And there's almost nothing to break on them. There's no electronics. The thing will run. Actually, you turn the key off, it keeps running. Because you actually have to pull a lever and cut the fuel line, pinch the fuel line off and starve it of fuel and let it run out of fuel. That's how you shut this thing off. I love it, It's I hope it's a strong enough motor, I believe. And so, you ready to go look at it? All right, let's go look at it. Here we go. It is let me turn you around here. Turn you around. Here we go. That's it. It's a 11 window. You count the windows, 1, 2, 3, 4, 11, and then the driver window. You don't count the driver window. All the slide up and down windows, for the students or whatever, that's the 11. It's got the battery box here. It's got another little storage box here that has some kind of heat pump gizmo in it that can be taken out. So that's a storage box as far as I'm concerned. And then under here, the grating, get to that in a minute. That's the air conditioner. All right, there's your fuse panel box right here. These are just access doors for different things. And then you got two storage panels or boxes on this side. The fuel tank, because these storage boxes are here, they put the fuel tank back here where I like. It's behind the axle, underneath, between the frame. Actually, you can see it right there. You can see the framework of the fuel tank. Very well protected up underneath there, and it's in a place I will never use anything for. Okay. It's got the Bud steel rims on it with the lug nuts, and it's got stainless steel, beauty caps on there. Those eventually will come off, and I'll put aluminum rims on there. Got pretty decent tires. They're kind of old, I think, so I'm going to replace the steer tires and sell them to Kirk as a trailer tire. These I'm going to keep. Those are good. They're Bridgestones. They're 2000, forget what year, 2012, I think. So 10-year-old tires, but they look good. They're not cracked or anything like that. And they're on the back. So if they do go bad, it's not like a steer tire blowing out or something, okay? But I am going to replace the steer tires when we get to rolling. Not now. I'm going to wait until we actually get the whole bus done, and that's one of the last things I'll do is I'll go up and put steer tires on it. All right, in here, we will sit you down somewhere here. See if we can sit you where you can see. Let's turn this around. There we go. All right. We've got air conditioning units on the side. All of this stuff will come down. Every bit of this will come off. These rails, these grab rails, these are coming off. They're going to go on the outside of the bus, okay? Up above. Not exactly sure. I just don't want them here because I'll be hitting my head on them, okay? But I'm going to take these off. And I think these are going to go upstairs, and maybe for the solar mounts, I'll put that up there and I can mount my solar to these maybe, something like that. I don't know. Or put them along the outer edge, just above the windows, along the outer edge, and it'd be a good place to where, like when you put your ladder up on the van, or it won't touch this paint, but also a good place to put bungee cords and tie things off like tarps and stuff if you want to make an awning or something like that. So anyway, those are coming down. This is coming down because it leaks right there. It rained this morning. Had a big old thunderstorm came through here, and this seat is wet. I'm looking at the windows. This window's cracked, but it's not from there. And I saw a little water droplet right here, and right here's one right now. Okay, so this thing leaks. So it's the escape hatch. That one's coming out. The back one I think I might keep because that'll be right above the bed area. Might be a good place to leave that one. But I think I'm going to take this one out and put a skin it because it's too big of a hole, and cut a 14 by 14 hole in here for a fantastic fan. Event fan, okay? All right, this and all of this stuff here will come out, okay? Got all this stuff out. All the seats will come out. All this down piping for the Freon lines and all that, that'll all come out. All the windows will come out. The floor will come out. Basically gut this thing. The ceiling will come out. The wiring, some of this wiring will come out. A lot of stuff's going to come out of this van or bus, okay? Kind of hollow it out, clean it real good. Then I've got some paint. This is a whole process I'm going to go through, and I'll be doing videos on it this fall. Not right now. It's too damn hot. It's real cool today because we had that storm came through, and it's like 75 degrees and about 100% humidity right now. But it's going to be July and August. It's going to be hotter than hell. So probably around September, I'll start gutting this thing out and working on it. September, October, November, December, I got about 4 months to gut it and fix it up and clean it and build it and put everything in. And that's a whole nother process. But basically, this is living room. This is going to be kitchen. Right about, there's the wheel hump right here. So right in front of the wheel hump, this is about where the shower will go. And a little step, and probably the toilet will sit right here. Right behind the fender somewhere here. Underneath is going to be water tanks and bed, okay? And then about right here, I'm going to put a wall for the last two windows here. These last two windows, I'm going to put a wall somewhere along in here. These windows won't be here. That'll be sheet metaled, okay? And I think it'll be this window here and this window here, I think, will be windows still. All the rest of them will be covered up back here anyway. The first three and this one. So only 4 windows on each side. That's it, okay? So this will be the bedroom area, okay? There'll be a wall right here, and this will be a garage area, place to put your gas can and your generator and your place to have your batteries for your solar system, all the charge controllers, all that kind of stuff will probably be on this wall right over here, okay? but there will be a wall right here with a door so you can get through to the escape hatch. In case there's a fire or something, you can get out and go out this back escape hatch. Other than that, you almost never open this door. You come in and out from this to get the tools and whatever you have back here in the garage, okay? Bedroom, shower and toilet area, closet and refrigerator area, kitchen area, okay? And then living room area, okay? And as far as the living room, right here's fender wells for the front axles, right over here's fender wells. Build some kind of a cabinet, and those would be like your end tables at the end of the couch or whatever. Be end tables with cabinets and storage underneath them, but a place you can put your drink, set your computer up there when you're not using it, things like this. About right in here is where I'm going to have a recliner and another one over here, okay? And if you don't know what they are, they're called Euro recliners. They're not like a Lazy Boy. A Lazy Boy is this big, fat, puffy, you know, huge box of a chair. European recliners look a little bit more like a really fancy lawn chair. And you see them in RVs quite a lot. So I'm going to get two of those, one here and one here, and then the TV will be up above the windshield. Let's put you guys back over here now. There we go. All right, so somehow or another, I want to put a wood stove in here. Somehow put a wood stove. And in my plans, I was going to put it about right here, but I can't because of that fender wells. I don't know. Maybe I won't be able to put a wood stove in here after all. I'm hoping I can. But anyway, put that in here, hopefully. Chair over here, but the TV will be up here, okay? I don't know, 30-inch, 27-inch TV right up above here. This will be redone in a wood, I think, like a, I don't know, something. Try to get rid of most of the metal, you know, make it look homey. Like I said, 1, 2, 3 windows, 1, 2, 3 windows. Everything on back, even the back windows, cover them all up with sheet metal, except those two, one on each side where the bedroom is. So at night you can roll the windows down and have a cross breeze. During the day you can run these down and have a cross breeze. And I'm thinking if you leave that escape hatch, you can pop that open and breeze can come in and heat can go up through the roof outside and get you cool at night. So anyway, so that's the idea there. This chair will come out. I'll put a regular semi chair in here, like you know, as in my regular air ride seat, like my truck would have. This truck or this bus has air brakes, but it does not have air suspension. And I'm going to look into that, how much it would cost to put an air suspension on this, because it rides so much better. But really, it doesn't ride bad as far as bumps. Even empty, it doesn't ride that bad. When I drove it home, it rode pretty good. When you get on little side roads that have all the dip-de-doos, this thing porpoises real bad because the steer axle, it's got a really short wheelbase. You know, really short wheel for a 30, I think I measure 34 feet tip to tip on the outside. It's got about the same wheelbase as a dually pickup. Okay, step out here and I'll show you. See how short that wheelbase is? So yeah, it's actually turns real tight, you know. Oop, I want to step in the cap. Oop. It turns real tight. It's really, I mean, I like it. Another thing, it was never a school bus. It was never ever a school bus. It was a church bus. Okay, so was thinking about painting the thing, you know, because it's all dirty on the top. I'm going to scrub all that off with a pressure hose and all that. Get that all cleaned up. I'm going to paint the top. The whole thing's going to get painted white. The top is probably going to be painted in Henry's reflective paint. It's like a paste that you put on there, and it reflects the heat real easy, you know, real good. They put it on RVs a lot. And I was going to probably right around the windows. These windows are all tinted, so right where the windows are, I might, because you gotta remember these first three are going to be tinted, and then this is going to be sheet metal and sheet metal all the way around the back and everything. One window there and 3 windows up here. So is that all going to be white in the center? Or should I shade it black so the black and the windows just kind of disappear in the black, void? I don't know. But see, they got these strengthening ribs on school buses, as you see right here. These strengthening ribs. Okay. And what I was thinking is paint the whole thing white, and then where the ribs are, paint these blue, the same color as the Semi. Okay. That same color blue that I like. Kind of like that. And then Pam says, well, why don't I kind of like this paint scheme? Don't like the colors, but I like the paint scheme. And then I got to thinking about it. Yeah, maybe she's right. Let me turn you around here. How about paint the whole thing white, a bright white, and then where it's purple, paint that the same color blue as the Semi, and where it's gold, paint that a lighter blue, like a sky blue, or about that color blue. Okay. I don't know. And then the bumpers both will be the darker blue. I don't know. Probably something like that. I don't know. So anyway, here's that motor. It looks fairly clean for a 28-year-old bus. It's pretty good shape. Well, there you go. And there's what I like about it right there. Mechanical pump. 12 valve. This is the original. When Dodge first started putting Cummins diesel motors in their trucks back in the mid-90s, that was the motor they put in them. So there's no dents, no scratches. There's a little, I just noticed this one here. It's the first one I noticed. There's a little dent right here. You can see it. Yeah, pretty minor. Everything seems to work on it. On the way home, the tail lights kind of, not the tail lights, not the stop lights, but the running lights, just when you're driving down the road and tail lights are on, they were having trouble. They kind of go on and off and on and off. So there's probably a short in there somewhere. But that's it. And then I don't know, maybe you guys can tell me what this is. Has something to do with the heating units. Some kind of pump, it's an electric motor. There's a filter, air filter it looks like. But more than likely I won't need any of that. I'll chunk all that out, and that will become a storage box. Under here, that's the air conditioner unit for all those air conditioners on the inside. They don't work, so throw them away, don't need them. And take this screen off, and that's easy access to under here to either put a storage box or the outside part of a mini split, and put a mini split on the inside. So something like that maybe, I don't know. So there we go. Doesn't have any the lights up here for school bus. Doesn't have any of that. Never did. This was never a school bus, and I kind of like that idea. I kind of like that idea because it was never on a school route. Stop and go, stop and go, stop and go, stop and go. 50 stop and goes every morning, year after year after year. So a lot more. Where's these nuts coming from? Nothing coming off of them. See these nuts? It's the second one I found laying out here on the patio. And where I put the solar panels up, there's the button nuts up here. That's what they look like, but there's none missing up there, so I don't know where they're coming from. Don't know. All right, so that gives you an idea what that was doing up until we went over on Friday. All right, so let's get to the hospital part of this stuff. Let's get to the hospital part of the story. And I'm sorry, I'm so busy talking, I'm not paying any attention to the scroll or screen, the comments. I'll get to that here shortly, I suppose. All right. So that's what I did for about the first week when I got home. Delivered the cargo trailer, shopped around for a bus, got lucky and found this one. Found it on Tuesday, I think, last week. Found it on Tuesday. This is a week and a half ago now. Anyway, he was busy through the week. He said he'd be available on Monday or Friday, last Friday. I'm like, okay. And I got things to do between now and then anyway. And so anyway, this bus was closer. This was only about an hour east of here. I can't remember the name of the town. It's a little small town out there. I can't remember the name of it. But anyway, it was over in this small town. And I says, yeah, I'll be over on Friday to look at it. Well, one of the things I had to do last week, on Thursday, I had to get a butt scope. Had to get a colonoscopy. Okay, hadn't had one. 58 years old, never had one. And last time I was at the VA, he scheduled me a colonoscopy. So, okay, let's go down and get it done. All right, so Thursday was my day. So on Wednesday, I did all the prep work, you know, take the pills and drink the fluid and, you know, don't eat anything, blah, 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 blah. Thursday morning, went in there, 8 o'clock. They got me in the room about 9 o'clock, and about 11:30, I was out of there, something like that. And they found 2 polyps, removed them, haven't got the biopsy back yet, but probably fine. One was a 2 millimeter polyp, okay. Now, I didn't know this. I thought a colonoscopy went in about that deep, which, you know, was just your colon. It doesn't. Stand up here so you can see me. I thought it went in that deep. It doesn't. It comes up, then it goes over the sigmoid colon or something like that. So you got your colon, then you get your sigmoid colon, and then you have your large intestine. Comes all the way up and around. If you look on a map of the human anatomy, you'll see what I'm talking about. So they go in, make a left turn. Well, you know, anyway, they go in and make a turn. They go over up to your left side, all the way up your left side, underneath your lung area. Okay, this is the large intestine. Goes over and then down the right side. They're in there about 3 feet. I didn't know that. I thought they went about 8 inches. I did not know that. I didn't know until after it was all over with. I did a little YouTube research. Anyway, I'm like, oh my God, they really went in there. Well, anyway, the whole time when I got ready to go down there, I never wanted to get a colonoscopy because I've had hemorrhoids in the past, and they get bad and they hurt like hell. And I'm thinking that's all that's going to do is aggravate them up and make them hurt, you know. And well, sure enough, that's what happened. Well, no, it didn't. Take that back. That's what I thought happened. Okay, I got so tender down there and sore and hurting. Oh God! Now this is Thursday morning. Thursday afternoon was fine. All day Friday, driving over, looking at the bus, looked at it. Told him I'd be back later in the evening to pick it up, pay for it and pick it up, and then Pam could drive me over there so we could drive back, you know. And need 2 people to shuttle it, you know. So got back Friday night, normal, everything, and I'm thinking, oh, this is good. I had a colonoscopy, and it didn't aggravate any hemorrhoids or anything like that. All is good. Saturday, about midday, it started hurting down there. It started hurting a little bit more uncomfortable. By Saturday night, I was like, oh God, no. But I didn't know. You don't know, you just don't know, you know. You know what I mean? I didn't want to do anything like preparation H or anything like that, because when they cut a 2 millimeter polyp off over on this side over here, about 1.5 feet in. They cut a little bitty polyp off, but down close to in the rectum, or the colon, I mean. In the colon, they found a 12 millimeter one, big, fairly large one. It's a 1/2 inch. And they cut it off. Well, and it was where it says it was at, because she didn't tell me anything. It was the paperwork that they gave me. I'm reading up on it. I'm like, they found one and sent off to biopsy and all that. And it was just the lower rectum, I think is what it said, the way it said it. Okay. And I'm thinking, man, they cauterized that, you know, the electric loop, and they put the loop around there and they burn it out or burn it off or whatever. And they cauterized the blood cells and everything. And I just didn't know. If I put preparation H suppositories in there, would that somehow affect that cauterization? I just didn't want to take the chance, because I just didn't know. I'm not a doctor. I don't know. You know. So I waited until Monday, suffered through Sunday. Just hurt all day Saturday. Saturday evening, mid-afternoon, it was starting, but Saturday night, I'm like, oh God, it hurts. Sunday was torture, you know, oh God, it hurts so bad. Monday called up and talked to a nurse, and she said, we'll have the doctor call you. A couple hours later, the doctor calls about 11 o'clock. She says, yeah, where that was down close to your rectum area, and it's probably causing sensitivity down there. I'm like, okay. And she says, that's a really good chance. If you've had hemorrhoids before, your hemorrhoids are probably inflamed, and just put preparation, you know, just treat them like you normally would. Okay. So that's what I did all day Monday and Tuesday. And Tuesday was the worst day. It hurt so bad. I mean, it hurt so bad I had a hard time applying the medicine, if you know what I mean. God, it hurt so bad. Couldn't hardly walk. You stand up and it's just like, oh, it just hurt so bad. And Wednesday, about 11 o'clock, the doctor called me. This is the VA doctor. She called me. And how are you doing? I'm like, not good, doc. I'm hurt. She goes, oh my, well, we better get you in and have you looked at. And I said, all right, well, let me get around, and I'll come up and see you. She goes, no, come see me. No, we don't have the facilities to do this. Well, you probably need to look inside, do an MRI or something. Oh, okay. Or a CAT scan or something like that, right? Okay, all right. I said, where should I go? To the Dallas VA? She goes, no, I mean, just go to any hospital. I'm like, well, okay. She goes, no, don't worry, the VA will cover it. I'm putting it in the thing here. You go to a normal hospital, the emergency room, and let them check you out. Okay, because they'll have all the stuff, the CAT scan, the MRI, all that kind of stuff. So I went to the ER last night, or yesterday afternoon. Got there about 3 o'clock, sat there till 8:30 in the waiting room. Good thing there wasn't an emergency, huh? Had to just wait your turn behind other people, and they're understaffed like everybody at Whataburger and Chick-fil-A and McDonald's. They're all understaffed, you know. So anyway, wait. Finally, oh, here's Mud Pig, I think. Mud Pig's asking if it's a good time to call, so he should be calling here shortly. So I'll wrap this up. So anyway, what happened was I go down there and wait. Doc comes in, talks to me finally, and decides to do a CAT scan. So I got over and got a CAT scan, and they put the stuff in your arm that goes through your blood system to help the CAT scan see things better. It gives it contrast, or I can't remember the word they used, but it's not the radioactive fluid. It's something like that, though. Anyway, they put that in there and come back, and he says, you don't have any problems at all. Or before he did that, he did doctors. He did a digital examination. What? A digit. So he did a digital examination. Why didn't you say stuck his finger in my butt? Why don't you, hey, let me check you out, let me stick my finger in your butt and feel them. Digital examination. You talk about politically correct. My God. Anyway, he says, you don't have hemorrhoids at all. I'm like, really? He says, well, why does it hurt so stinking bad? I said, why does it hurt so stinking bad? Hola, senor.
Hey, how's it going?
Mud Pig. Oh, pretty good. Hey, let me finish my little story with I'm doing a live stream right now. Let me finish my story with people, and I'll get with you in a couple minutes, okay? Just stay right here and just listen, but I'm going to wrap this little story up. So anyway, he does a digital examination, and he says, you do not have hemorrhoids. Oh, okay. I don't know what it is, so let's do a CAT scan and look inside. So he does a CAT scan and everything, comes back, and he says, you have no problems at all. And he says, the other thing is they give me a Tylenol 3 for the pain. Has the codeine and everything, and it quit hurting. You know, and I felt pretty good there toward the end, you know. that evening. I was fine yesterday evening. While I was sitting in the hospital, I was waiting, I was fine. And he says, more than likely what it is your internals on your body. Your internals on your body. If you've been disemboweled, cut open and your guts are laying outside, or your heart is open heart surgery. If you have open heart and you take your finger and touch the heart, I can't feel you touching my heart because there's no pain receptors on your heart or on your intestines or your stomach or lungs or whatever. There's no pain receptors on them, on the inside of your body. Very few anyway. Pain receptors are, your feel, your touch, you can feel things. Your skin has a lot of nerve endings, but on the inside, you don't have a lot of nerve endings. And he says, around your, I'm just going to say it, around your anus, you have a lot of pain receptors, okay? And that goes in a certain distance inside, but after you get in there far enough, there's hardly any pain receptors. So the polyp that they cut off way up in there, it can be hurting like hell and you don't know it because there's no pain receptors. The big one, the 12 millimeter one that was down lower, was closer to those pain receptors. And he said the butt muscle, your sphincter muscles, are a weird muscle. Just like, okay, I can make my hand open and close. I can do that whenever I want. I can hold it, I can close it, I can do whatever. I can move it all the time. I have full control over this. I don't have full control over my eyelids. I can't hold them open forever. Eventually they will say, and they take over, and you'd have limited control over them, okay? Your heart, you have zero control over, okay? You can't move your heart. You can't make it do anything. It is totally on its own, okay? Said your sphincter muscle is similar to your eyelid, okay, or your breathing. You can hold your breath for a certain amount of time, but you've got to let it go. It has its own mind, so to say. And because that pain was there, basically, my sphincter muscle was so worried about the pain, it had tensed up and was causing all this pain. I basically had a cramp in my ass. How you like that? How you like that, Mug Pity? You like that story? Oh, there you are. You on?
Yeah, man. I was just trying not to laugh out loud to ruin your story.
But yeah, anyway, that's what happened to me. That's why I was in a ER last night, getting checked out to make sure there wasn't any complications with whatever. As it turns out, there was no complications. It was just there was no complications because of the surgery. There was complications of my body reacting to the surgery and tensing up so much and making my hurt so bad. I thought I had really bad hemorrhoids, and I don't. By giving me that one pain pill, it relaxed everything, and the cramp went away, and I feel pretty damn good today. I mean, it's still tender, but pretty much back to 100%, 99% right now. So anyway, I'm going to keep an eye on it, so to say. And that's what happened to me last night, and that's why everybody and Joe just happened to call right when I'm sitting there in the ER, in the room, in a gown, sitting there waiting for the doctor to show up and put his finger in my butt. And Joe called. I mean, he's got perfect timing, doesn't he? But I just didn't want to tell everybody on his live stream that what was going on, because I didn't know at the time. For all I knew, I might have to go into surgery and have half of my thing cut out or something. I didn't know. Because we were getting when he called, it was right before they wheeled me off to get the MRI, the CAT scan, I mean. So I had no idea.
Yeah, that was the last I heard, is that Joe had tried to call you and you said no calls or something like that. And I'm like, well, I guess I'll wait till I hear something. So then, Kimberly, I guess, got a hold of you somehow. And I'm like, yeah, now I'll call and check and see how he's doing.
Yeah. But yeah, I think Kimberly's one of your mods, right?
Yep.
Yeah, yep. And her and Lisa are good friends, I think. I think they work together as mods on different channels, I think. So that's probably where that all came about. But anyway, so I come out here to the shop, and the reason I haven't been out to the shop because I really haven't felt like getting off the couch. I hurt so bad. there, all day. Well, since Saturday, I was hurting so bad. I was wanting to come out here Saturday and do a live stream, but by the time I got around and everything, it was like noon. It was 100 degrees already. And so I kept putting that off. And then I got to hurting and whatever. And thinking, man, I need to do a video, tell people what's going on, where I'm at, Because I hadn't done a video since last Tuesday, week and a half ago now. So
yeah, because I had everyone asking me that as well. It's like, where's Sasnak? You heard anything from Sasnak? And then the ER thing came out, and everyone's like, oh, he's in the hospital. Is he okay? And I'm like, well, I mean, I got his number. I can check. But last I heard, he didn't want people calling. So.
No, it wasn't that. I just didn't want to be on live streams on Joe's live stream, letting everybody know what I didn't know yet. I mean,
exactly.
Now that I know what's going on and everything's kind of worked itself out, so to say. Now that that's all run its course, so to say, he basically gave me a prescription of Tylenol 3 and some stool softeners, and that's it. So hopefully, I mean, like right now, I feel fine right now. This time yesterday, I was crying. I mean, I hurt so stinking bad. And it's so funny that something that hurts so bad, by taking one pill, can be completely fine. And it wasn't even a fixing pill. It was just a pain pill to basically, like right before you called, I was telling everybody, I had a butt cramp. It's like you get a Charlie horse, okay? But your butt, how do you, Charlie horse, you just straighten your leg out, and you force the muscle, stretched it out, and, oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, and you stretch it out.
Through it a little bit, and you're all right.
How do you do that with your butt muscle? I mean, how do you do that? I guess a Coke bottle, maybe? I don't know. But, it's just.
It makes sense, though.
Yeah.
Because things hurt. You kind of clench up, you clench your teeth. It just, makes sense that if things hurt down there, things clench up the same way.
Right. So, yeah. Anyway. So, what are you doing? This is Mud Pig for people that don't know. So, what have you been up to?
Not much. Just running circles out of Tennessee, running dedicated freight at the moment.
Yeah, you said something about Bristol, didn't you? You sent me a text message here a while back.
Outside of the Bristol area, up closer to Rogersville and Kingsport, if you know the area. Yep.
So
Bristol's the closest big city for people that aren't familiar with Tennessee.
Right. What are you hauling? I mean, I don't even know what you do.
Yeah, it's all plate glass now. I'm working dedicated out of a glass factory down here.
Now you haul that on you pull that on a double drop step deck or something, or a dry van?
It's dry van. This glass, they had issues with the flatbeds and the guys not tarping it correctly. Because sometimes they'll load this stuff and it'll actually be warm. And it'll be cooling as we're transporting it. Yeah. So apparently if it gets wet, it'll cause distortions or something in the glass. I'm not sure exactly. But they finally got to the point where they said no more flatbeds. They're going all van. Okay. So, everything here is running in vans. Okay. We run the big panes, the little panes, and everything in between. Okay.
Yeah, I know they have the double drop, the double belly drop flatbeds with the like A-frame, and they lean those. But those are the really huge panels that they usually use that for.
Yep.
So
we're putting those in vans.
Oh, really?
20,000 pounds per rack kind of stuff. The real big panels, bigger than I am tall.
Right.
Yeah, we're putting those in vans now.
Okay. All right. And where you haul those to? Yep. Where are you taking them?
All over. I mean, we were up in Cincinnati the other day. We were just down outside of Charlotte today. Anywhere basically we can get out and back in a day, and then occasionally we do a longer one. But since we're dedicated, they want us here every day so we can keep their local stuff moving, and then they give all the long stuff to the over-the-road guys. Okay. So is that what you're doing, is the more closer local stuff that you can be back in one day? Yep. Okay. Now you live up. Scheduled that way. We don't always make it back, but that's the plan every day when we set out is to make it back. Yeah, they're having a field day on the chat right now. All kinds of puns. All kinds of puns about my butt problem. So. Yeah, I just actually had one of my mods text me saying that you don't have any mods in the chat currently. Oh, I don't? Yeah, probably. Yeah. Maybe, I don't know. That's all right. We'll see how bad it gets. So I can always just turn the chat off if it gets too bad. Yeah. But, oh well. Put them on a 20-minute slow mode. Yeah, well, yeah.
I don't. Yeah, I got my computer in the truck. I guess. You can't really do that unless you get on. Do you know how to do any of that without being on a computer?
Yeah, you can do it from your phone. You go to studio.youtube just like on your computer.
Right.
But when your phone pops up and says continue to the app, say no, I don't want to continue to the app. And that's just like on the computer. You click your current live, you go down to the corner there, and you'll have your button where you can turn on subscriber only in slow mode and all that right from your phone.
Do I have to do it on the phone that I'm live streaming on, or can I do it to my regular phone that I'm talking to you on?
Yeah, I always do it from my regular phone because I have a streaming phone and a regular phone. That's how I set it up every morning. I don't drag the laptop out anymore.
Okay, I went to YouTube, and it's just a regular.
Studio.youtube.
Oh, studio. I got that. I got that somewhere. Where's it at?
Yep, and it'll bring up a big screen.
Yep.
Asking if you want to go to the app, and you say no, I don't want to go to the app because the studio app, I've never found a good use for it.
Okay.
It really doesn't do what you can do on the computer. And then from there, it's just the same as the computer. You'll go to your lives, and your current live will be there looking at you. Okay,
looking at studio, and then where? Okay, now I'm looking at it. What do I do now?
You click on your current live, and then it'll pop up some icons under it. You click it kind of has some circle lines around it. Let me actually pull it up on my phone while we're talking here.
Okay, my current live would be the content. Oh, here, live.
Yep. And then from there, your current live will be right at the top. You click that, and then under that, it'll give you your buttons, and you.
It's not showing it.
Click the edit.
It's not showing it.
It's not showing.
Last one is the one I did a week and a half ago with Grey Wolf.
Huh.
It's on. Let me go to dashboard again. Yeah, it's not showing it. It's not showing the one I'm on right now.
That's interesting. Are you on the live section or you're on your past video section?
I don't know. I'm on studio.
Yeah, because up at the top on channel content, you'll have videos, live, and then posts. You want to make sure you're on the live category there.
All right, let's get out of it completely. Let's try that again. Go to studio. And it pops up studio, and it shows my Sasnak, 122,000 subscribers. So view more. Let's try that one.
Yeah, I sent you a screenshot of what mine looks like.
I saw that.
While you're on the phone.
Yeah, mine's all white screen. Yours showed a black screen.
Yeah, I'm on dark mode on my phone.
Oh, okay.
I always keep mine on dark mode. That's not a big difference.
All right. Yeah, that's where I was at. It just didn't show this current video.
Huh. Yeah, not sure. That's how I always do it every morning when I start, because it's a lot easier just to sit here in the driver's seat, program GPS, pull the phone out quick, and mash the button, and you're off to the races, you know?
Yeah, there's content, live, 7/6, the last one it shows.
Not sure.
Let's see, let's go to all of them. Videos. Live.
Yeah, because this last screenshot is once you get in there, like mine's only showing turning the replay on and off. But usually that screen, the last one I sent you there, is where you'll see your subscriber only and your slow mode.
Yeah, I don't know. So I'll have to look it over later on when I'm not yakking to you and everybody on screen here. So, but oh well, we'll see. We'll see how well they behave themselves while there's no mods on here, I guess. Yeah, Pam's at home but she's working on her computer, so she didn't have time to do all this. So.
Yeah, hopefully they behave themselves.
Yep. There you go. We love you, Sasnak. Glad you're feeling better. A lot of trolls in here, Stan. Everything is fine. Well, good. I'll sit there. The trolls are on here. I can go back later on this evening and go through every one of these comments and see who's doing the troll type stuff and get rid of them.
Yeah.
It'll give me a chance to get rid.
That's what we do over in mine. We give them a warning. If they keep it up, then we boot them out of there, you know?
Yep. We're blocking trolls ourselves. Good deal. Yeah, they're okay. They'll be okay. And let's see, what do we got here? We got 887 people watching right now. So somebody, I don't know who, somebody gave me $10 on a super chat, and I totally missed it. Whoever that was, thank you very much. $10.01 on a super chat. $10.01. I don't know why. But anyway, thanks. Whoever that was, thank you very much. Appreciate it. So, Mr. Ribs is a troll making fools out of you, Sasnak. Mr. Ribs, huh? Hey, you know, if they're just joking around, poking fun of the ha-ha, you had butt cramp, you know, that's fine. You know, I'm a big boy. I can take that. I laugh at it myself. But
yeah, I was going to say, I was trying not to laugh at it. I was trying to be polite, you know?
Yeah.
But it is a pretty good story. Really
is. Okay. Here's Mr. Ribs now, or Junior Ribs. JR's Ribs and Catering. She's a troll, and she's like, I was just joking. So, yeah, it all depends. Ha, ha, ha. Stan, I was laughing. Yeah. Okay. No big deal. Yeah. And I was amazed last night after I got back. Well, actually this morning, got up and got on the computer, and I went back and watched Joe's live stream, and he was doing a 24-hour live stream last night, which he can't do 24-hour live streams. You can do, I think, 12 hours.
You get like, yeah.
Well, he was.
You end up with a little over 11. If you go over 12, it'll bump you all the way back and eat up everything, you know?
Yeah. So what he did, he was doing like 5 hours here, 5 hours there, or something like that, you know. And he would shut it off and restart it immediately. But basically covered a 24-hour period of them. Looked to me like they were sleeping in their lawn chairs or something, you know, because he had the screen going all night long, it looked like. Anyway, I went back and looked, and it took me a little while to find it, but I could kind of tell where it was because the sun, when the sun set, I knew about what time he called me, and I looked, and I finally found it, and was reading some of the comments and everything like that. And all anybody knew at that time was Joe called me, and I answered, "Hey, what's up?" And he says, "Hey, what's up?" I said, "Oh, I'm over here at the ER." Oh my God, I had everything from COVID to a sex change. I mean, everything in the world, everybody, oh my God, he's staying sick, he's dying, oh my God, you know. It's funny, humorous, whatever, how people jump to conclusions on stuff, you know.
Oh yeah, and I had that all day in my chat, everyone asking, what's going on? I just kept telling them, it's like, I'm not saying nothing until I get a hold of them, you know. I mean, you know how it goes. Like you said, I mean, you'll have every rumor under the sun going if you say anything. Right,
yeah. Yeah. Well, everybody thought, oh my God, he's been in the hospital for the last 2 weeks. That's why he hasn't been doing any videos. No, I did a video last week, not this week, but last week on Tuesday. It'd be 10, 11 days ago now. About 10 days ago, I guess it was. Anyway, on Tuesday, I did a video, or maybe it was a Monday. I don't remember what day it was, last week, on the 6th. So anyway, I did a video, come out here to the shop, talk a little bit, and in the video, I called Grey Wolf. He's doing that walk across America and everything. And so I called
for a little bit because I remember being shocked when you mentioned you don't own a house.
Me?
Like,
yeah.
what?
No, I've never owned a house. Never owned a house. I've always lived either in the truck or had an apartment. You know, rented a place or just lived in the semi or something. Saved money by just living in the semi.
Yeah, that's what you said, that you never owned a house. You just have the shop and the truck. And I know you have that van you travel around in every now and then.
Yep. Yeah. Now Pam, she has a house. You know, so we're not married. She owns her house. I own my property out here. You know, and together we get by. But I don't actually own a house, and I never have, and don't really want one. It's just because you never actually own it. You never actually, this property, I'll never actually own this property. I get to where I don't have to make payments on it.
Paying the tax, they'll take it from you.
Exactly. And the taxes in Texas on real estate are extremely high because we don't have a state income tax. So they got to get their taxes somehow. They make as much money as any other state, per person. But yeah, the school taxes down here are just outrageous. I mean,
it's
just
like Tennessee and Texas that gets
right.
you elsewhere.
They just, they'll Florida, all the states that don't have a state income tax, Florida, Tennessee, Texas, Alaska, which one is it up? Idaho or someplace up north, or North Dakota, South Dakota, North or South Dakota. I can't remember, one of the Dakotas. Who else? There's another one I'm not thinking of. Maryland or not, Vermont or something, somewhere up in the Northeast. Anyway, there's about 7 or 8 states that don't have a state income tax, but they get you elsewhere. And here in Texas, the school tax is so outrageously high. You know why? Because every school in Texas, I don't care how big the school is, has to have a freaking theater, not a theater, a coliseum for their football team.
What?
Oh yeah. I mean, the local schools around here.
A great big stadium for like a little school with 300 people graduating.
It's unreal. It's unreal. They got schools around here that probably have a senior class of about 200 or 300 kids every year, and they have a football stadium bigger than a lot of colleges around the country. And it's just a high school. Texas football is just they've lost their minds. They've absolutely, don't get me wrong, I like the idea of, football and everything, but you don't have to have an Olympic, the track field, the local school they just built here up there close to Pam's house, that made her taxes like double on her house. It's ungodly. The football stadium will, it's not a coliseum or nothing like that, but the bleachers, I mean, I've seen colleges don't have as big as a football stadium. And then right beside it, they have a huge field, has like a soccer field on the inside, and on the outside is a ring for the track, and it's the rubberized track like they use in the Olympics. We had asphalt.
Our school put one of those in, but we fundraised for years to put that in back when I was in high school.
No, it's just unreal. The weight room in some of these schools look like the Dallas Cowboy weight room. It's a professional NFL team. It's ridiculous the money they spend on football. And don't get me wrong, I like the idea of high school football, but my God, you don't have to have that. I mean, just have a field with some grass. My God, they just blow so much money.
To the point now, it's too late because one school's going to go, well, that school's got it, and that school's got it, and every other school's got it. So why can't we have it?
Yep.
I mean, you know how it goes. Everyone gets jealous of everyone else.
Well, it's not even so much that. My friend Kirk up in Kansas, my farmer friend. I don't know if you watch enough to know who that is, but I got a friend that he was a truck driver, and I worked for him for several years, and then he quit trucking and went up. Hey, there's my cardinal. My cardinal's back. My red bird. I think it's a cardinal. You wouldn't be able to see it. It's over there. It's so small, but it's over on the tree right now. Bright red. I think it's a cardinal. I always thought cardinals were bigger than that, though. That thing, he's small. I always thought a cardinal was a little bit bigger than a robin, and it's not. It's a little bitty thing. But anyway, Kirk's hometown, they decided to put a baseball field just for softball, just for little league baseball and softball and whatever. And the city council found that, hey, we can get this grant from the state of Kansas, and they will pay for most of it. Okay. Well, once you go that route, I mean, basically all you got to do is get a field, dig it up, put some really nice grass out there, and get some chalk lines and put your bases, and then build a couple little bleachers over here and over here. And that's it. Nope. If you go through the state funds, you have to have underground sprinkler systems. You have to have a certain amount of lighting. You have to have drainage. You have to have a certain amount of, all the fences and everything. Basically, this baseball field ended up costing like $300,000. And it's unbelievable. Yeah, they thought it was going to be, they were going to put a baseball field. The land was donated by somebody, okay? Some farmer owned it, and he donated some land. Okay, they didn't pay anything for the land. Okay, but once the state got involved, and hey, if you're going to put it in, you got to put it in this way. You can't put it in that way. You got to do this. You got to have lighting. You have to have this. You have to have a safety. You have to have all these. I mean, you get into all the things like wheelchair ramps, all that kind of stuff. You know, it's a handicap accessible, all that type of stuff. And it's just a little small town with a baseball field, and it ended up costing them about like the $300,000, and the state put in $200,000 of it. So the city ended up spending $100,000 on this stupid baseball field, and was the second. They already had one on the other side of town. They didn't need another one. They already had one.
My school,
it's just unreal.
Yeah, it is, because my school was a football school. Our baseball team was a ragtag bunch of people who didn't play football.
Yep.
And our high school baseball field, you could climb off the backside of the bleachers if you wanted to. That's all the higher they were.
Yep.
There were only maybe 6 or 7 rows of them.
Yep. Yep. But no, I mean, just instead of just, okay, here's the field, and right over there you can park over in the grass. No, you had to dig all that out, put concrete in, because the concrete you needed for the wheelchair accessibility. You know, and I don't have any problem with the wheelchair access and stuff like that, but it's just, my God, there's nobody in town has a wheelchair, you know, and yep, that they still have to put its whole system in, you know, just in case somebody comes along with a wheelchair, you know. And don't get me wrong, I don't mind that. It's just, but once the state gets involved, the government gets involved, if you want our money, you're going to have to do this. You're going to have to do, they could have put that field in for about $15,000-$20,000. They ended up, they put a $300,000 field in, and the city ended up paying $100,000 of it. And they could have just stayed away from the state and put a $15,000 field in and been done with it, you know.
Yeah, government getting involved always makes things more difficult.
Exactly. Yeah, they had to have, the bullpens had to be designed a certain way in case a foul ball went over, it wouldn't hit the kids. You know, just, you know, they just have all these little regulations that, you know, and I can't remember all the stuff. He was telling me, I'm like, you're kidding me. Yep, and we have to have lights, you know, You can't just put a telephone pole out there with a light on it. You have to have these special lights that go up a certain high, and they have to put out a certain amount of brightness, and those are really expensive lights, like a Walmart parking lot light, you know. And we don't play at night anyway, but you have to put the electric lights in if you want the state funding, you know. So just play during the day, you know. And it's just, and they already had a baseball field that nobody used. No, they weren't using it. But hey, let's build another one, and maybe people will start using both of them. We can have, you know, tournaments and stuff. It's just, you know,
get
the government.
The local team going, right? It's always the idea. We're going to start a league. We're going to do this, and then they realize no one signs up, and then the field sits empty.
Yep. Yeah, and don't get me wrong, they actually play baseball at it, you know, but for all the more baseball games that they play there throughout the whole year, it sits idle 95% of the time, you know. Anyway. Did we ever learn of what happened? Yeah, John Henry, we found out what happened. You have to go back and watch the video. I'm not going to repeat it. There's too many puns involved. Too many donut puns.
Yeah, I'm getting to that point when people ask about DC. I keep telling them I got to record a short video so I can just link it in chat and explain why I'm not in DC.
Yeah. Are you getting a lot of grief from people? Because people don't give me a lot of grief on my channel, but when I'm watching Joe or somebody on, you know, his channel, the people are always like, "Where's Sasnak, and why isn't his sorry ass up here?" Blah blah blah. You know, and I'm like, for one, I kind of realize some of those people are just trying to stir shit up. They're trying to cause hate and discontent. But what's your reasoning for not being in DC with Santa right now?
Yeah, I mean, well, first off, to answer about the grief, I get it, but not from my regulars.
Right.
My regulars actually know what's going on and they defend me.
Mm-hmm.
But my reasoning is I ran up a lot of credit card debt, and I'm still behind on a lot of bills, and I need to get myself back out of debt. Taking 2 months off really put me in the hole.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
So.
Yeah, during the whole convoy thing, it really didn't put me in a hole or anything like that. That's not my reason. It's just, I got to thinking about this the other day, and everybody's mad at Grey Wolf. Everybody's mad at Santa. You know, some people love Santa, some people hate him. Some people love Grey Wolf, some people hate him. Some people love Brian, some people hate him. Some people love Mike, some people hate him. Some people love me, some people hate me. You know, same with you. You know, and all the visible people that were in the TPC. Okay,
Yep.
And I'm sitting there thinking, wait a minute, there was 250 trucks up there. There was about 400 or 500 cars up there. Okay. And they went up to DC. Now, granted, you know, Monday morning quarterbacking is, you know, easy to do. And I look at see what happened at the TC and when they went up there and what happened. And oh man, you know, what they should have done was this, and what they should have done was that. You know, shoulda, woulda, coulda. You know, and you hate to play that game because, you know, but everybody, while we were in the convoy, I can remember when we first showed up at Hagerstown, and people, we need to do this, and other people, we need to do that, and I don't want to go do that. You're stupid for doing that. You know, everybody had their opinion of what should be done. Okay. We need to go and storm the gates. We need to go and throw the bums out. We need to stay here and bitch and moan. We need to pack up and go back home. We need, you know, everybody had their idea of what should be done. Okay.
Yeah, and I wasn't there for the beginning, but I heard a lot of that. I came in about a week later because I never even knew the convoy was happening until they rolled through PA. And I'm like, wait a minute, what's this mess? I'm trying to get somewhere, and these guys are hogging up the road. So I started looking into it. You know,
there you go.
I was running local, and I finished up what I was doing and came down and joined y'all as soon as I could.
Yeah. So I guess I got to thinking about this. Everybody in the convoy, or everybody that was up there early on in Hagerstown, everybody had their idea of, well, when we get to DC, this is what we need to do. And what the TPC, the leaders of the convoy, you know, Brian and Mike and Marcus and the others, you know, what they ended up deciding to do, some people agreed with, some people didn't agree with. And the thing is, after it all broke up, and the way it broke up was sad and, you know, disappointing and everything, but now everybody's going off and doing their own thing. And if Joe Blow doesn't agree with, for instance, with Grey Wolf, I don't agree with what Grey Wolf, and he's a sorry blah, blah, blah because of it. Well, at least he's doing what he believes he ought to be doing, you know. Brian is off doing whatever Brian's doing. Mike's off doing whatever Mike's doing. I'm over here doing what I'm doing. Joe went back to California and said, hey, if you guys go back to DC, I'm not going to sit in a parking lot in Maryland for another month and a half. So he went home, took care of what he was going to do. Now they went back down to DC. He went back down there.
Yep,
and
I was surprised. I mean, I saw him live in DC, and I had to pop in myself. I'm like, wait, you're really in DC?
Yeah, yeah. And I don't mind if they want to be, if that's where they think they need to be, then that power to them. If Grey Wolf thinks he needs to be out doing a walk across America, power to him. I'm not, you know, I don't want to cut people down just for doing what they think they ought to be doing. Me, I'm doing what I think I should be doing. I'm out here working. I'm building money up because I'm going to be taking most of the winter off. I'm getting things done like colonoscopies. Going to get this tooth fixed here shortly. Next Monday, I go to the doctor or the dentist and just do a regular cleaning, and then they're going to look, I guess, X-rays and stuff and see how this is healing up inside. And I doubt they'll be ready to put a tooth in next Monday, but probably somewhere in August, I'll be ready to get a tooth put in. Okay, I have things that I need to get done and do. I've got a bus. I just bought a school bus, or not a school bus. It's a school bus that was never a school bus. It was a church bus, but it's a school bus. But I'm going to turn it into an RV. Okay, and I need to
do the old schooly thing.
Schooly thing, yeah. So I am doing what I need to do, what I feel I need to do, and I'm going to catch grief for this. I don't mean it in a bad way. But I don't feel that me sitting in DC under a shade tree is what I need to be doing right now. Okay.
Oh, no. I mean, I went
And
on
if
an
Santa,
hour-long rant the other day saying it's too soon.
well, if
People
Santa,
aren't ready to show up.
if Santa wants to do that, power to him and all that. And I get a bunch of grief from people. Well, if you were there, a lot more people would be there. No, they wouldn't. No, they would. You'd have one more streamer to watch. Other than that, nobody. If I showed up tomorrow, nobody else is going to show up just because I'm there. Now, maybe couple people might show up. Hey, can I get a sticker? Can I get a signature? You know, can I get an autograph?
You'd have the people show up for an afternoon to meet you.
Exactly.
They wouldn't stay.
Yeah, everybody that knows about it already knows about it. Okay, Joe's there covering it. Oreo's there covering it. BCP's covering it. WYSIWYG is covering it. About 3 or 4 other streamers that I don't even know who they are up there covering it. Polish Agnes showed up here last week, was covering it, I guess. And hey, Sasnak shows up, it's going to change the world. No, it's not. I don't have that kind of power. Now, if Trump showed up, something might change. But Sasnak shows up, Mudpig shows up, nothing's going to change. You know, it's not like I'm going to show up and all of a sudden 10,000 people start showing up, you know.
Yeah, they need a real celebrity, not a YouTube streamer.
Yeah, I'm not a celebrity, that's for damn sure. I'm just a truck driver that has a YouTube channel. That's all I am.
Exactly. I mean, I tell people that too. It's like, even when they were coming out during the convoy, people were coming out to meet me, I tell them that. It's like, I'm no one to talk to. It's like, great you came out to say hello, you know, we'll chat a bit, but go talk to the other locals here. They're the people you need to be talking to. Exchange phone numbers. Do something here in the community, you know?
Yeah. One of the other things is have you ever heard the old phrase, know thyself? Okay. I know myself. And I know that about a week ago, I don't know what day it was around the 4th of July, something like that. I don't remember what day it was. But they had a rally, and Joe and all of them went down for the abortion ladies. They all were down there having a rally, gonna, raise a big shit about, I can't kill my baby anymore. Okay? And so Joe and all of them, they went down there and walked around and covered it. Okay? And I just know how I am. I'm over there and some protester like that gets up in my face and starts screaming. I'm not one to just sit there and smile and be polite and, yes ma'am, yes ma'am, yes ma'am. And she's right up in my face. And I'm gonna do this to the camera. I'm gonna do this to the camera. I'm doing this for the camera right now. You are me, okay? And I'm sitting there and I'm me, the camera, and I'm the protester, and I
get up in your face and I start, yeah.
You know what I do to that? Get the fuck away from me, And I know as soon as I go, that's what do you call it? Assault. Get the fuck away from me, bitch. Shut the fuck up, And I'll push somebody's face and get them out, and not punch them or nothing. Just get the fuck out of my face. And that's going to be enough for them to call the cops and throw my ass in jail. And why do I need that? I don't need to go to jail because some stupid bitch wants to kill her baby.
You don't need that stress either. I mean,
it's my right. It's my right. Well, what about that poor baby's right? You don't have the right to kill somebody. If you don't want the baby, you should have kept your fucking legs shut. Simple as that. Sorry my language, people, but it's the truth. If you don't want the stinking baby, keep your legs shut. Simple as that, but I'm going to catch hell for that, I'm sure. But it's so true. If hey, I want to go out and be the whore of Baghdad, and then when I get pregnant, I have the right to go kill the damn thing. It just burns my ass. And I know myself. I know that I don't handle those kind of situations well, So I'm sitting.
I mean, they always say the quiet ones are the ones you got to worry about. I mean, me personally, I'm an introvert. I mean, I do the streaming thing, and people do that, but I don't handle confrontation well either.
I don't either.
I mean, I'm the nicest person until you get in my face, and then you meet a part of me you don't want to meet. You know, it's like, wait a minute, you're coming at me, and no, hold on. We're going to have a conversation, or you're going to get out of here. We're not going to be screaming about this.
See, somebody like Joe handles it so much better. He just laughs at him. He's really good at that. I mean, when they were out in California and they were walking around, and there was some guy they were protesting outside of the in Sacramento somewhere. I think you were still there with them at the time. I know you were. I know you were there.
Yeah, I was with them from the time they left Hagerstown till they got back.
Yeah, and Joe was down there, and he's walking around, and some guy that he started calling him Larry. Larry. You know, some guy was. It had to do with those bills in California, and the abortion bills or whatever that they were protesting at the time. They were going down there, and some guy was going to get somebody. I don't know who it was. Somebody was going to get an award for being so wonderful. You're passing legislation to kill babies, you know.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah, I can't remember who it was.
It was middle of the afternoon.
Yeah, we're trashing the award party.
Yeah, and they were just standing outside going, "Hey, these people are giving an award to these people. You know, wake up, people." You know. Anyway, so Joe's standing around. Some guy comes over and starts, hollering, badgering the TPC crowd. You guys need to go home, blah, 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 blah. And he was a weird duck. And Joe just started following around, teasing him. Hey, Larry, how you doing, Larry? Larry! I think it was Larry. And the guy, who knows what the guy's name, but Joe started calling him Larry. Larry, come here. And he just kept following him around, badgering him. Finally, the guy got in his car and left. I don't handle that good. Joe did that well. I don't do that very well, I'd go up there and, hey, Larry, you're a freaking idiot. What are you calling me an idiot? Thump. And then I go to jail. And I don't see the point of me going to jail for thumping Larry for being an idiot. I just don't see the point in that.
I don't see myself doing well in jail either. I'm a big guy, but at the same time, I don't get along with a lot of people.
I can't go to jail. I can't go to jail because I have butt cramps.
You have a medical condition. You can't sit on that hard cot, right?
Oh, Lord. Yeah, I can't have a boyfriend. Oh, Lord. Oh, LOL. Everybody's LOL, laughing their tail off right now. So anyway, and I called, the last time I talked to Mike, he was leaving California, heading back to Pennsylvania, or back to Ohio, wherever. And him and Gray Wolf were leaving. They left Sacramento and were heading back to the East Coast to work. And
they're going out to do Mike's contracts, and they're supposed to bring something back. And I don't remember the whole story, but yeah.
Yeah, they were going to go out there and do something, and then get a load coming back, and it was going to pay them really well, and then they could continue on with the convoy. And that changed a few days later. Anyway, the last time I talked to him, I called Gray Wolf, or Gray Wolf called me. I can't remember. They were in Wyoming. They were, I don't know, Cheyenne, Laramie, somewhere along in there. And I called him and was talking to Gray Wolf, and then he said, hold on, Mike wants to talk to you. I said, okay. So I hung up and I called Mike, and I talked to Mike for just 10 minutes or so. And okay, well, we'll see you back. I was in Texas at the time, and I said, well, I've left the convoy, and Mike had continued on up to Sacramento with him, but then he left, and then I said, well, when you get back and everything, great, and whenever they leave the West Coast and start heading back to D.C., I'll leave Texas and come back up and go back with the convoy, which is what I did. Showed back up in Butte, Montana. And run across the country with them, but just sitting in a parking lot in Hagerstown or Bunker Hill or wherever they want to call base, or Sacramento in a mud pit, I just don't. I don't want to do that. I was all for the convoy when the convoy's moving and creating buzz, or getting people to learn about it, that I was all for that. But once they settle down someplace and basically occupy someplace, or whatever word you want to use, I just, sitting around Hagerstown for 3.5 weeks, that didn't do it for me. I was like, God, why are we here? So at first it was a home base. For the first week or two it's fine, but by the third week I'm like, everybody's left, there's hardly anybody here, and it's turning into a gossip columnist community. And all right, time for me to leave. And then they said, hey, let's go to California. Oh, okay, well, I'm with you as long as it's convoying. Let's get back on the road convoying, you know. But the problem with that is convoys cost a lot of money, you know, fuel and everything. So, you know, the money finally eventually ran out. And as far as that goes, I talked to Marcus. God, it's been several weeks ago now, last time I talked to Marcus. He called me up and he assured me that there was no funny business as far as the money's concerned. They're in the process of doing an audit. I don't know who, but somebody's doing an audit on not only the TPC, but the group that was in charge of the fundraising, which was a different group than the TPC. I can't remember the letters, but there was.
In my understanding, whenever you close down a 501c, there's automatically an audit.
Okay, that's what it was. Yeah, that's what it was. So anyway, he says, I can't wait till the findings of this audit come out so I can clear my name. Everybody thinks, this is Marcus, he says, everybody thinks I stole a bunch of money. Everybody thinks that Brian and other people, we all stole a bunch of money from everybody. And I can't wait till this comes out and prove that, you know, clear my name basically. And I'm like, okay, very good. And I haven't talked to him since then. It's been several weeks since I last talked to him. But he was all in, you know, good spirits that, you know, it was all over and he was back to his regular life and trying to get things, kind of like you are right now, just trying to get some bills paid back up and, you know, things, you know, whatever. So
yeah, he's back to work. I've talked to him a few times as well, but yeah.
Yeah, and I don't think Marcus is a bad guy. Yeah, I don't think Marcus is a bad guy. I might be totally wrong, but I don't think he's a bad guy. I think he's a good guy. He unfortunately got put in charge of distributing money, and that's always the guy you'd never want to be. You never want to be the guy in charge of somebody else's money. So, you know.
I don't think he'll have a problem with me saying this, but I was standing next to him whenever everything fell apart.
Yeah.
Like, he got off the stage, and I walked over, and I was talking to him.
Mm-hmm.
And it was on live stream, so, I mean,
I saw it.
I mean, he was crying when he got off that stage.
Yep, he was upset.
That's why I walked over and talked to him.
Yep.
Because I could tell he was upset.
Yep.
You know, so just that fact, I mean, you could tell he didn't want this to end. You know, but in his belief and the belief of the leadership, I guess they believed that is when it had to end.
Right.
I mean, I don't have any information other than that.
Yeah.
You know, but
well, the information
did the right thing. They ended it when they ended it.
Well, I think they should have ended it a long time sooner, a lot earlier than they did. I think,
what they should
you know, Monday morning quarterbacking. Monday morning quarterback. They should have run the convoy across the country from California up to D.C., went and did a couple loops around D.C. You know, you look at, okay, what was the biggest problem with the convoy? They blocked the exits. We couldn't get off the freeway, okay? And when Santa went down there, is Santa down there right now with his semi? No. His semi is not downtown, okay? After 9/11 and with the Patriot Act, and that's another bad thing is that Patriot Act. But after 9/11, they passed a bunch of laws and rules and stuff around D.C. that commercial vehicles are not allowed in D.C. unless you have a reason for being there. And if you don't have a reason for being there, you got to get a permit, okay? And they don't give those permits to just anybody. I mean, you know, now if you have a load, let's say you had a load of electronics and it's going to a trade show down at the convention center, you have your bills. You have your bills and it's showing you have to deliver down at the convention center. Okay? Go down there, do your thing. If a cop pulls you over and says, hey, what are you doing there? I'm delivering right over here. Oh, okay, go about your business. But if you're in a semi and you decide, I just want to go down and go sightseeing in D.C., they'll run your ass out of there and probably give you a ticket for it. Okay? Because you're not allowed to have commercial vehicles I can't remember the way they phrase it or whatever, but basically unnecessary. If you don't have a purpose for being there, you're not allowed down there in a commercial vehicle. And that's when who knows what you're hauling in that big box if you happen to have a box or whatnot, you know? Yeah. If you have a tractor trailer, my God, you know, I mean, and their thoughts on this is Oklahoma City. You know, what can you do? What he did with a U-Haul truck, can you imagine what they do with a 53-foot dry van? So they don't want that kind of stuff down in D.C. And, okay, well, none of us had trailers. Okay, well, even a bobtail, you know how much stuff you could stuff into a sleeper? You know, I mean, so they just don't want commercial vehicles down there, and they haven't had them for since 9/11, since 2020, 2002, when they passed all these rules and things. Okay, you're not even supposed to go up 395 into downtown. You're supposed to, if you're coming up 95, you're supposed to take the loop around. You're not supposed to go into downtown at all, period. So, with that known, okay, and I mentioned that to several people, you know, and I never got it to Brian or anybody, but I mentioned it to Gray Wolf, I mentioned it to Mike. Trucks aren't allowed downtown, okay, simple as that. Trucks aren't allowed downtown. Knowing what we know about it now, because Santa went down there with 4 trucks. Well, there was the Big D went down there in his fire truck, Santa and a couple other trucks. There was 4 commercial vehicles down there when Santa got arrested, remember? Okay, what'd they do? You got to get these trucks out of here. We're going to tow them, okay? So they impounded his. They gave it right back to him. D's still in jail. I don't know why he's still in jail. I don't what did he do to get thrown in jail? I don't know.
What I heard is the same thing as Santa. They cited him for the July 4th thing where they put down the highway and then they didn't give him tickets that day. Instead, they left those tickets marinate and then picked them up in D.C.
Right.
Is what I heard.
Okay. So why did Santa get out and Big D didn't?
I don't know. Maybe Santa got out on good behavior. I have no idea.
I guess. I don't know. You can't put Kris Kringle in jail, I guess. I don't know, but I don't know. I heard that Big D did more back talk or sassing, I guess, or whatever word you want to use when he was being arrested. I guess. I don't know. Anyway.
So he gave him a hard time.
Apparently, yeah. Santa, when they came down to get him, he goes, "Okay, thank you. I'll go ahead." And I don't know if they put him in cuffs or whatever. They let him off, put him in a squad car, and drove him off. I guess Big D might have resisted or something.
Apparently, it was zip ties.
They
were wondering why it was zip ties because they said cops would have used handcuffs.
Yeah. What about did Big D resist or something? Maybe I don't know. I wasn't there. I didn't see it. You know.
Same. I wasn't there. I didn't see it. Everything I heard about Big D was all secondhand. I did watch, like I said, the clip of Santa being walked off, but that's all I saw.
Oh, wait, hold on. Somebody said on my thing, Big D was put in a Virginia jail. Santa was put in a D.C. jail. No, he did not resist. Big D was very cooperative. Santa was picked up in D.C. and Big D was picked up in West Virginia. Different jurisdictions, okay? Santa has Rudolph as his defense. Santa has Rudolph as a defense attorney. He was running a generator without a permit. Okay, he was mouthy as usual. Neither of them resisted. The G's know what happened there in arresting with Santa. Asked them. Big D was extradited and was back. Well, Big D was taken and was so backed up. Different arresting agencies, extradition nonsense. Big D got escorted to Maryland this morning. West Virginia jail, not a Virginia jail. I don't know. Anyway, for whatever reason, Big D stayed in jail and Santa got out on his own recognizance is what that's what Santa said. He says, I got out on my own recognizance. In other words, he didn't have to put a bail. It basically like a speeding ticket, you're on your own recognizance. He still has to go to court apparently, but he didn't have to post bail. Anyway, so where were we talking before that? We got onto that.
Commercial vehicles.
Oh yeah, okay. So commercial vehicles downtown. Now, if it was all to be done over again, we're in Oklahoma, working our way across country, going to D.C. Maybe if they had a second chance at this big convoy thing, maybe what they should have done, commercial trucks aren't allowed downtown, okay? But there's no rule against cars and RVs and things like that. What if those 400 or 500 cars would have went downtown and occupied D.C. instead of 12 people with Santa right now? What if there were 400 or 500 people down there doing what Santa and Joe and all of those people were doing right now? What if there was 400 or 500 people doing that back in March? And the semis stay out on the loop. And the semis stay out on the loop and just keep making laps while the non-semi people, RVs, cars, vans, pickups, all those people could go downtown legally, okay, and go do their thing down there. Okay, they can't run you out for having a commercial vehicle downtown then, say. And they could go in on all these little side streets that semis aren't allowed on. Then, they're blocking the exits. Well, hell, they could get in other ways. The Polish drivers, remember the Polish truck drivers? They went in, but they didn't go in and get off the off-ramps that were blocked. They went in back roads and stuff, which was illegal. Those aren't truck routes. They somehow got in downtown, okay? Okay,
yeah,
the cars...
Several guys that were getting in
right.
DC every time we did laps. They were sneaking
right,
in.
okay.
They'd peel off and go off and exit somewhere.
Mm-hmm. And the DC cops were very lenient on that because they could have thrown those guys in jail right there for having a truck down there. Okay, and they didn't.
Usually they just escorted them out,
right.
if anything.
Right.
I know a couple of guys said they had DOT inspections done and they threw them like a small fine for something dumb,
Yep. So anyway, they go and, hindsight, Monday morning quarterback, and maybe that's what should have been done. Instead of the trucks trying to get downtown and go down in front of the courthouse or the Capitol and blow their horns and everything, what if the trucks just stayed on a loop and did loops while everybody else went downtown and did their thing? Yeah, I don't know, But the thing is, there were 500 cars along with the 250 trucks the first week when we first got there, okay? Now there's a dozen. Okay, the opportunity is missed and is gone. Okay, now does that mean we can't have another convoy somewhere down the line? And that's what back to when I last talked to Mike. I told Mike, I says, hey, if you guys ever want to go do another thing, something similar to this, in other words, the big convoy, okay, let me know, or I'll be interested in it. Okay. I'll be interested in doing something else.
Same thing. Make sure I'm not last to know.
Right.
Sure I don't roll through my hometown and then I find out.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Now, does that mean I want to be an organizer or something? No, but I wouldn't mind being a truck in another convoy, going up and doing something. Okay. We learned what they did in Ottawa didn't work too well. Okay. The way Ottawa reacted to the Canadian convoy. Okay. So when we did the American convoy to DC, let's not do that. Let's do something different, okay? And that something different was the idea of going and negotiating and talking to politicians. And while the trucks are driving around town, okay, they were in there trying to have meetings with politicians and stuff. Well, we learned that doesn't seem to work. That didn't do as much good. I mean, they went and had a couple meetings, and after that, just kind of ignored us again. Okay, well,
positive at first,
maybe.
But yeah, it didn't get no traction.
Maybe here this fall or maybe next. Another thing is there's not enough people in America that are concerned about the mandates. Okay, that's what the convoy is all about, is the mandates, and not just masks, but making nurses and doctors and military and whatever get the COVID injection. Otherwise, you lose your job. There's a bunch of people going through that hell right now. But in general, the 350 million people we have in this country, there's not that many people concerned about that. Right now, they are concerned. Right now, they are concerned about fuel prices and inflation and stupidity in the White House. Maybe the next convoy ought to be about something more relevant like that. Okay. I made a comment. When Brian was up there, I flat asked him right in an interview with a whole bunch of other people. We were sitting on the bleachers one evening, and I flat asked him, why don't you add to what you're doing, but add fuel prices? And he says, yeah, what if fuel prices come down next week? You can claim a victory. Okay. No, he didn't want to do anything with fuel prices. It had to be the COVID, or not the mandates, and that's it. And I'm thinking, add fuel prices. Get the fuel prices down. Open the pipelines. Okay. I mean, you can add so many things that this administration is screwing up right now. You can add so many things. And then on top of that, the biggest one is term limits. Okay, add those kind of things to it. Okay, and I bet you a lot of people would get interested in it. But so many people, they might hear something on Facebook or something. Oh, the convoy, there's a ragtag group, and I shouldn't have said that. I don't mean it that way. But the group that's down there right now, it's a shadow of what used to be, okay? And so people hear about it, oh, it's that bunch of dumbass truck drivers that went down to DC and screwed up, and I'm not in it. And they turn the page. They don't care, okay? You got to get them people interested in something that is relevant in their lives right now. And wearing a mask is not relevant in their lives right now, okay? But fuel prices and inflation and on down the line, maybe that's what the next convoy ought to be about. I don't know, but and I don't know. I'm not trying to belittle the people that are down there right now. That's not what I'm trying to do. It's just, I don't see how me showing up down there is going to do any good, okay? Now, if 10,000 people started showing up, yeah, but me showing up is not going to bring 10,000 people down there. Me showing up is going to bring about 5 people that want Sasnak stickers, and that's what's going to happen. I go down there and spend a whole bunch of time sitting around on the mall, standing, where they're at now, just sitting there, doing what they're doing. I can go down there and sit there with them, and I just don't see that it would do any good. I don't, and I know there's people who are disagreeing. They're having conniptions right now. Oh my God, I can't believe you're saying it. When the convoy started, before the convoy started, I had heard that there was going to be a convoy, and I wasn't interested in it. I'm thinking, oh God, it's a bunch of bitching old truck drivers going to go down and bitch about, logbooks or something, and it's not going to make, they're going to get halfway across the country, it's going to fall apart, and it's just going to be nothing, okay? And I just happened to bump into it out in Arizona. I just happened to be driving by, what the hell's going on over here? So I pulled around and asked them, and I thought, okay, it'd be a good video.
You tripped over it.
Yeah, well, I just thought, it'd be one good video. I'd make a video about, hey, here's the truck drivers coming, they're heading to DC, okay. And the next day, I'd be on my way on up to Las Vegas to go to their NASCAR race. And the more I talked to people, I started, hey, maybe there's more to this, because I just thought it was a bunch of truck drivers. That's what really got me interested when I was sitting at the pizza parlor waiting for the convoy to show up. Hey, the convoy's on its way, and oh, really? Okay. Well, I'll sit here and make a video about the trucks pulling in. And they were talking about 300 trucks are going to be pulling in. I'm like, holy crap, that's going to be neat. All right. And they show up and about 30 trucks pull in. And I'm like, where the hell's everybody else? And it just RV, car, SUV, car, pickup, car, SUV, camper, RV, and it's 300 vehicles. And I realized it wasn't a trucker thing. It had nothing to do with truckers. It was a American pissed off at the way we were treated through the COVID crap, and we need to go up there and let them know that we're sick of this shit. Now I could get into this, but just going up and bitching about the logbook ain't going to change a damn thing in trucking at all. It isn't. What would change trucking? What would change the logbooks in trucking? Every truck driver throw their freaking logbook out the window and say, piss on you. If you want your shit delivered, let me just deliver the damn stuff. If you don't, then if you want me to fill this paperwork, I guess I'll sit on my ass and sit at home. But you got to have every truck driver in the country throw their logbook out the window, or turn your electronic, and that would never happen, because you can't get. During the convoy, when it first started up, I was jokingly saying, hey, you put 2 truck drivers in a room together and they come out with 3 different opinions. Because truck drivers are very independent people. They live by themselves out on the road. It's really, and they get so used to being their own boss and nobody else tells them what to do. So when you get together, and they're not good at being team members. Does that make sense?
Well, it makes perfect sense.
Yep.
There's a lot of people become truck drivers because they don't want to have to work for anyone else.
Yep.
They want to go do their own thing
Yep.
when they want to do it and how
Yep.
they want to do it.
Even company drivers, you don't have somebody sitting over your desk looking over your shoulder all day long. You're sitting out in a truck by yourself. Now you have to deal, with dispatch and being a company driver and everything. But still, during the day, you're driving along. You want to pull off and grab a hamburger here, you don't have to wait till lunch hour. You don't have to wait till the whistle blows for your break time at a factory. You know, that's what truck drivers like. They don't like being looked over their shoulder minute by minute, you know. So even a company driver is like that, you know. So owner-operators that actually run their own business, you can't tell me what the hell to do. I ain't going to listen to you. So you have a hard time with truck drivers trying to get them all to agree on one thing. And we saw this in the convoys. We got into town. Everybody had their own opinion on what to go do. Gray Wolf wanted to do this. Marcus wanted to do that. Brian wanted to do this. Mike wanted to do that. Mud Pig wanted to do this, and Joe wanted, first responder wanted to do that. You know, everybody kind of had their own opinion on what the right thing should be to do. You know, and it just, you can't do all of them. So you got to have a strong leader that everybody go, well, you know, he's the guy. Well, you know, the last time the trucking industry had a good strong leader was Hoffa. You know, and
yeah, you see what happened to him.
Well, what happened to him was the mob.
I know. Yeah. I'm saying,
but
he got disappeared.
Yeah. Everybody knows. Everybody knows he's in Giant Stadium. That's what everybody says. When they were pouring the concrete at Giant Stadium, that's where he's at. He's in Chesapeake Bay somewhere.
Oh yeah, but I mean, even when it came time to go back to California, we had that vote.
Yep.
I talked to a lot of people, and everyone had a different opinion.
Uh-huh.
Some people just wanted to get the heck out of Hagerstown and get rolling.
Yep.
Some people actually cared about what was going on in California.
Yep.
Some people were just bored and
Yep.
wanted to do anything.
Yep.
You know, it was just, everyone had a different opinion, but the consensus was let's go.
Yep.
You know, that seemed to be the consensus is nothing's happening in D.C. Let's do something.
Right.
You know?
Yep.
And, yeah, I don't know if that was the right move or not, leaving.
Don't know. But money's an issue, you know, because fuel prices and everything, you know, they only had a certain amount of money to pay for all the fuel and all the, you know, everything they had to pay for. They had to pay for security. Well, you know, I've talked to, Marcus and different people. I've talked to them about, you know, why do they spend so much money on security? I mean, for crying out loud, it's just a bunch of truck drivers. And you know, there were death threats. Yeah, so? You know, death threat does not mean a risk to life. It's just some idiot on it. I can put a death threat out right now for somebody, and it doesn't mean anything. You know, and
how many truck drivers handle their own security every day? Anyway?
Yeah,
we got
exactly.
Tire thumpers. We got you know how it is. We won't go into too much detail.
Yeah,
you know how it is.
Yeah. But, you know, and then everybody was like, toward the end when the money thing became an issue and everybody, look at how much money they spent on security. Well, from what I understand, they didn't spend that much on security. The security was wrapped up in an overall fund of a lot of the things they spent money on. So, you know, how much do they actually spend on this security agency? How much money did that security agent, you know, security officer get, you know, whatever you want to call them, wasn't any higher than you would think. But the category on the spreadsheet, the security was in this category along with other things like parking and the fuel was in its own category. I can't remember it all, but anyway. Somebody said, well, I don't pick a number. Let's just say $400,000 was spent on security. No, $400,000 was spent on this category. Security was in that category along with all these other things. Maybe only $50,000 was actually spent on security. You follow me on that? I don't know the numbers. I'm just making those numbers up. But you get the idea.
I don't know the numbers either, but whenever people ask me where the money went, one number I do give people is I know my truck, on average, every 2 days took $600 to $700 worth of fuel.
Yep.
I mean,
yep. Their biggest one, I think.
Every 2 days, that was like clockwork.
Their biggest fuel buy was in Ohio. That's before you showed up. In Ohio, we stopped over in eastern Ohio at that. The old truck stop used to be there. There's a Pilot across the road, I think, or something. Anyway, I can't remember the name of that town. It's right where Is it Interstate 77 and 70 crisscross?
77.
What's the interstate going up into Dayton and Canton? 77, isn't it?
Yeah, you're right.
Okay, so over in eastern Ohio, I-70 and 77, where they crisscross, just east of there, about 5 miles, 10 miles, there, Shenandoah truck stop, I think was the name of it. Anyway, it's not there anymore. The lot is there, but the truck stop is gone. Anyway, that's one of the last places we stopped before we went down into Hagerstown. When we left there, we ended up in Hagerstown the next day. Okay? That fuel stop, that was the biggest fuel stop. It was $84,000 for one fuel stop. One fuel stop was $84,000. And that's the gas, that's the diesel, that's everything. But, you know, most of the fuel stops were in the 50 and, you know, 30, 50, 70, but the biggest one was 84,000, I think was what they told me, if I remember right. You add that up, it all goes pretty quick. You know, they spent money for Hagerstown, they had to spend money for parking up there, they had to spend, and then, you know, at the end, the day it all fell apart on Friday, when it all fell apart, there was all this, well, they gathered a bunch of money, $15,000 that Santa asked for, you know, and that it was the confusion. And once you sit down logically and sit there and look it over, you realize there was no shady business going on. Okay.
I mean, and Santa asking for money was my first hint that, hey, we're out of money.
Yeah. Well, he had mentioned it when we were in Indiana at that auction place in Indiana, where I remember I'd come across and we got to Iowa. You guys pulled in there at Walcott or someplace or something. Where'd you guys pull into? I can't remember anymore.
We stopped across the road from I-80 because I-80 didn't want us. So
right. We stopped at the Pilot, and then I left there. Where did y'all spend the night in at that after that?
Where did we spend the night?
It was in Illinois somewhere. Over in Illinois. You guys.
No, that wasn't.
Is it Cuba, Illinois, or Peru, Illinois, or something like that? It's about halfway across on I-80. Anyway, you guys pulled in there to the truck stop on the north side of the freeway. You pulled in there. I kept going and went on over to Indiana because I needed to get work done on my sleeper. I had problems with my sleeper, so
because you had the switch there, the battery switch.
Right, I had problem with that. So I went over to the company that built that sleeper, the ARI. I went over to them and let them work on the truck. That next morning, they worked on the truck that day, and then that evening I left and drove down to Indiana where we met up. And then that next morning, Joe and we went out and had breakfast up at Amish country. I don't know if you remember all that, but anyway. And then we left.
I wanted to ask you, where'd you go? Because people were asking me.
Not there in Shipshawana.
I didn't know if it was Shady Maple or Dutch Way.
No, Shipshawana, Indiana. It's right in the middle of Shipshawana's great big old hotel, and I can't remember the name of the place.
Oh, okay, so it wasn't even Lancaster. People in my life thought it was over in Lancaster.
No, it was Shipshawana.
I was going over the buffets in Lancaster.
Yeah, Shipshawana. That's where ARI, ARI sleepers, my big custom sleeper.
Yep.
Okay, it was ARI sleepers, and that's where it was at. Right, if you go to Shipshawana and find Shipshawana on the north side of town, type in ARI. Legacy Sleepers, and you'll see where their yard is. Okay. Well, just south of there, toward the middle of town, there's a huge hotel, and I can't remember the name. It's like the Green Door or something like that. I can't remember the name of it. Anyway, it's a big hotel type restaurant, whatever, and that's where we went. It's a big, tourist spot is what it is. But it's a Amish restaurant, real good food, just basic, when they say Amish food, and I was like, everything there, the same stuff I would eat. I guess I'm Amish now, I guess, I don't know.
I guess so, because...
Yeah, it's eggs and bacon and biscuits, what, it was all, the only thing is they had a store up there, and they had stuff like, Amish peanut butter.
Amish. They had the bread pudding incident.
The bread pudding. Bread pudding. What?
A bunch of bread pudding.
Yeah, but bread pudding. That's just a dessert. I ate bread pudding as a kid. I don't know. Bread pudding. It's British or English or British or German. I can't remember. Anyway, bread pudding. I don't know. But yeah. Anyway, Joe had never had bread pudding before, and he was going on and on about it because he really liked it. Bread pudding. But I'd had bread pudding. I like it. It's good. But anyway. Anyway, when I left Chippewa and went down and rejoined the convoy after that one night, you guys spent the night in Illinois. I spent the night in Indiana. The next day we showed up in Indiana at that auction, that machinery auction place. I can't remember the name.
All the John Deeres and stuff.
Yeah, the old antique John Deeres. Yeah. So anyway, while we were in there, Santa was up on the podium where the auctioneer would stand, and he was giving a speech up there, and he mentioned that the convoy is getting very low on funds, and he says, I don't care. He says, we don't need funds. We need enough fuel to have our tanks, so when we roll into DC, we're on fumes and we run out. But we're in DC, and that's kind of the way he was giving his speech.
Him saying that we're rolling in on fumes.
Yeah,
I remember that.
Yeah, which is all metaphorical, but still, you get the idea. The point was, he didn't, we've used up all the funds in the general fund and everything, and it was that day it was the day before in Ohio, I think, when he mentioned, or is the next? No, it was that next day when we were leaving Ohio. He mentioned, says, "Hey, I just got confirmation of a place where we can park," and I think he was talking about that Bunker Hill where they're at now. Anyway, he says, we need $15,000 to secure this place for a month. Okay, well then. Santa was kind of the lead speaker, but he wasn't leading the convoy. He wasn't in charge of the convoy. Okay, he wasn't an organizer. He wasn't the one deciding where money was spent or whatever. And as we left Ohio and coming in through Pennsylvania and everything, they decided we're going back to Hagerstown. So we went back to Hagerstown, showed up there, and we were there 3 days. I left. Went back to work. I said, once I get back to the East Coast, got you guys back, I'm going back to work. And that's what I did. The next morning, we showed up on Tuesday afternoon. Wednesday morning, I packed up and I went to work. Went back driving.
Yeah, because you had told me that. I forget when you told me that. One of the times we were sitting in your truck just chatting, you told me that.
Yep.
That
Yep.
you're heading back.
Yep. So anyway, yeah, we, what was it? So yeah, I went back to work, and it was 2 days later on Friday when they decided that, and it all goes back to the Proud Boys, and that I don't really want to go through the whole thing again, but it's basically the people in the convoy, the organizers of the convoy had gotten word about the Proud Boys, and they didn't want to be associated with that because the Proud Boys are some of the guys that were thrown in jail after J6 and blah, blah, blah. And they were worried. They were worried, and like, hey, we don't want to be going to jail because of all this stuff or whatever. So think of that what you will. I've got my thoughts on all that. And, but, anyway, people, they decided they didn't want that exposure, risk, whatever. And they shut everything down. It says, all right, let's shut everything down. The convoy is stopped. Now, when they did it, they unfortunately, Marcus is not a really good public speaker. And he came out, and the way he delivered the information to everybody was very matter-of-fact, very dry. We are the convoy, blah, 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 and we are no longer, and the convoy is over, see you, goodbye. And he, and that was it. And there were people clapping. If you go back and watch the videos, if they're still up, go back and watch the videos. People were clapping. People were agreeing, yeah, okay, the convoy is done, blah, 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 whatever, And after he says, okay, and done, he sets the mic down. People in the crowd, which were agitators, there was a woman there in a red shirt, sweater, or whatever. I have never seen her in my life. I have no idea who she was. She was screaming, I want about this. Okay, remember I talked earlier about know thyself? Some gal like that gets in my face and starts bitching and moaning. Yeah, I just, I don't deal with that very well. Okay, but anyway, she gets out there, and couple other 3 or 4 people are in the audience, and they got everybody worked up, including Joe and all that, and everybody got fired up about the whole thing. Hey, what? And some people, what about the $15,000? Well, Nobody said that they raised $15,000. Okay? They asked for $15,000. They raised some, but that money, the money I gave them, that was probably spent the very next day in Pennsylvania buying fuel.
That's what I was just gonna bring up. I had a lot of people bringing up the money you gave them at the outlet mall. It's like, well, Stan walked up and handed them thousands of dollars. It's like, yeah, he did.
Yeah, and and that money was spent on gas and diesel over in Pennsylvania the very next morning. Yeah. So, but yeah, everybody thinks they stole a bunch of money. They stole a bunch of money. And Marcus, last time I talked to him, he was like, no, we didn't. Nobody stole anything. Everything's on the up and up. It's just there's a lot of confusion right now. And until that audit comes out, and as soon as that audit comes out, I can sit there and release all this information and basically clear everything up. And you know how it is. They can sit there and show proof that we're on the moon. And still, there's people are going to go, we never went to the moon. You know, they're,
stage in Hollywood or whatever. Yeah.
Everybody, Kennedy wasn't shot. Kennedy's still alive. You know, and there's a whole bunch of these people. What do they call them? There were a bunch of them in the convoy that were trying to infiltrate the convoy. QAnon, the anonymous, Q and the anonymous, and all that QAnons. And that's they just.
I've heard of it. I've never really.
I didn't know who they were until the convoy.
But
and I never heard of who they were until this convoy. And then I'm like, you got to be kidding! People actually believe that John F. Kennedy, is still alive, and people believe that John F. Kennedy Jr. is still alive. John F. Kennedy would be like 97 years old or some shit, wouldn't he? Or 104 or something like that. And he was in bad health when he was alive. You'd think he's going to live to be 104? And
that's way before my time.
But the thing is, to what ends? Why would John F. Kennedy want to fake his own death? And Elvis is still alive. Do you know that? Elvis faked his life. This QAnon career, God,
the rumor he was going to put us back on the gold standard, and they didn't want it.
Well,
I thought that was the rumor behind that.
No, Joe, Kennedy didn't take us off the gold standard. Nixon did. Nixon came after Kennedy. Kennedy didn't take us off the gold standard, didn't want to take us off. Nixon is the one that took us off the gold standards in the 70s. It was like 72 or something like that. I don't remember what year it was. Does anybody know here on this chat? Anybody know on the chat here? Somebody, when did Nixon take us off the gold standard?
That's the nice thing about chat. Someone always gets the answer to you pretty quick.
Yeah, 72, 71. 71, 72. Anyway, somebody else here just in a comment. Oh, I believe JF Kennedy Jr. could be alive. Well, JF Kennedy Jr. could be alive because he wasn't that old of a guy. He crashed into an airplane, But why would he? Okay, JF Kennedy Jr. JF Kennedy Jr., the little kid that saluted his dad at his funeral. Remember? Jackie Kennedy was standing there and, hey, salute. He stands around and salutes, okay? He grew up to be a really handsy GQ, good-looking, wealthy, very popular guy. Why would he want to fake his death? I mean, why? I mean, to what ends? Oh, I'm John F. Kennedy. I'm gorgeous. I'm beautiful. I have all these gorgeous women chasing after me all the time. I got more money than God. I'm popular. I think I ought to pretend I'm dead. Why? Why? There's August 15th, 1971 is what they're saying. And that would have been during Nixon. But why would Elvis want to, well, I can understand Elvis. Why would Elvis want to fake his own death? So he can go back to living a normal life, But, but that was Elvis.
Going out in the bathroom, what's the crazier way to die, right? Wasn't he the one that OD'd in the bathroom or something like that?
Yeah. Well, he didn't OD. He was on all these damn drugs and everything, prescription drugs that he didn't, he had drugs to wake him up. He had drugs to make him go to sleep. He had, the same thing as Michael Jackson, pretty much the same thing as Michael Jackson, and he was on so many different drugs, and eventually one morning he was in the bathroom and he had a heart attack or something and died on the toilet. And what a way to go. I mean, with Elvis, but then again, Elvis, Elvis, but he wasn't like Elvis in the 50s. You know what I'm saying? It was in the 70s, and he wasn't as popular as he had been. And he had more money and he knew what to do with it. Why would he want to, I mean, this conspiracy theories, sometimes you go, that does make sense. But so many of them just, why? Think through it, people. Why would somebody, pick your conspiracy theory, whatever it is. Why would somebody want to do that? Whatever it is. You got to think, what would be their motivation? Why would John F. Kennedy Jr. want to fake his own death? Doesn't make any sense. So anyway, and there's these people, and these and the thing about it, I'm looking at the camera now for people. You can't see me, MedPig, but the people on camera can. Okay. All these people that walk up to you and tell you that, oh yeah, John F. Kennedy's still alive, John F. Kennedy Jr., Elvis is still alive, and they're doing this, and they got all the blah blah blah. They look at you like that Hillary Clinton stare. That even hurts my eyes to do that. But it's just wide open. Their eyes are just, oh yeah, it's true. They're just, they've watched way too many, way too many YouTube videos, I guess. I don't know.
Hey, you asked my favorite question, though. It's the question every 2-year-old knows how to ask, but no one else ever remembers is why.
Yeah.
Because when you're a kid, you're always asked why. And
right.
when you become an adult, you're just like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, what happened to why?
Yeah.
And where'd okay come from, and why aren't you still asking why,
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. A bunch of those QAnon people were in there always trying to, the very first night when I was over at the pizza parlor, there was about 3 or 4 of them over there. And once they saw me on the camera, they walked over and just wouldn't leave me alone. Just kept talking and talking and talking. I went back and took the video down because I didn't want to give them any exposure. They just, God, they're crazy people. But anyway, and then you have all the other, the Beastie Boys. What was the other bunch? The ones that were standing on top of the bus out at the front gate. Oh, Ricky Bobby.
Oh yeah,
the Beastie Boys. No,
not the Beastie Boys. The Hawaiian shirt guys.
Yeah.
What are they called? Oh.
Boogaloo Boys.
Boogaloo, that's it.
Yeah,
Boogaloo.
and see, that's the thing is,
yeah, the Hawaiian shirt guys.
I had never heard of the Boogaloo Boys before. I'd never even heard. What? What are you talking about? The Boogaloo Boys? Yeah. So the Boogaloo Boys are sitting there, and they cause a ruckus up at the front gate one night, right? And that one kid got arrested for having a concealed gun. And the other guy had that baseball, that red baseball hat turned around backwards. He was just a freaking idiot. Anyway, so they're all up there causing all this ruckus. I never heard of the Boogaloo Boys. Well, here it is about 3, 4, 5 weeks later. We're out there in Maryland or Montana working our way back to D.C., and somebody says, Santa's a Boogaloo Boy. A Proud Boy. I just heard the word boy. I'm like, Santa? No way. Boogaloo Boys and Proud Boys are different. Okay, I understand that. But at the time, I'm like, what? I had no idea. Never heard of them either, So, I don't know. So, and then, somebody made a comment on my channel, in the comments one time somewhere, that Santa turned in his colors. He's no longer a Proud Boy. I have no idea, and I don't care. It's none of my, it doesn't matter to me. I don't see the Boogaloo Boys, or not. Here we go again. The Proud Boys were heavily involved with J6. Okay, and because of that, different government agencies have them on their radar as being bad guys. And I don't see that. I don't see it. I don't know. Maybe I'm off on this, but I don't see that they're bad guys. I see that they're patriotic people that see there's something wrong with this country and the way the government's being run and the people that are in the government right now, and they want to change it. Now, Their tactics, I don't know their tactics well enough to comment one way or the other on it, but just because a group in the government says that that's a bad group, that doesn't mean they are. Okay, because the people in the government, maybe they're the bad group, and they're pointing fingers back at the Proud Boy guys, saying that they're bad. You know, what's the best way to get rid of your competition is to demonize them. You know, so I don't know.
Exactly.
I mean, okay, and what gets me, you got a bunch of guys that are willing to go down to D.C. and try to stand up for the Constitution and stuff like that, okay? They want to go down and stand up for the Constitution and protect people that are trying to stand up for the Constitution. They are considered a terrorist group, yet Antifa, which goes and burns buildings down and destroys cop cars and vandalizes stuff and incites riots, they're not considered a terrorist group.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and that's where I was going to go.
I don't
was going to say, the
follow
enemy
that.
of my enemy. You know the old saying,
Yeah.
you know? If they really are against Antifa and everything, I mean, how can they be all that bad?
Exactly. And from what I understand, this is the simplified version of the Proud Boys. This is the simplified version of what I understand of the Proud Boys. The Proud Boys there was no such thing. Antifa comes along and starts doing the stupid shit that they were doing back in the day with the BLM and the whole, was it George Floyd? George Floyd and all that. And they're going into these cities and tearing shit up and doing all these bad things. And the cops are just kind of standing there watching them, letting them do it, in some cities, Some cities, they put a stop to it. Other cities, they just let them run amok, like Portland. They just let them run amok. And they just destroy a city. They ruin, they shut everything down. They burn stuff. They're anarchists, okay? And the Proud Boys go, or a group of people go, somebody needs to put a stop to that. I said, well, why not us? Why don't we put a stop to this? Not me. So that's what they're saying. And they're going, maybe we ought to put a stop to it. So they gather themselves together and say, hey, whenever Antifa shows its ugly head, we show up and protect whoever they're trying to cause harm to. And I'm thinking, that can't be all bad, okay? But people in the government the people in the government have labeled them. You got to remember, people, you got to remember, the Romans labeled Jesus an anarchist. And I'm not saying the Proud Boys are Jesus. But what I'm saying is it depends on who is saying, you're an anarchist, as to who, if you really are or not. Does that make sense? So I'm not saying Santa's Jesus. No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying Santa's a bad guy. I'm not saying he's a good guy. I think he is a guy that believes in his beliefs, and I can get on board with a lot of the stuff he believes in. I really don't know where to go with the rest of that. But let's say I don't think Santa's a bad guy at all. I really don't. Okay. Am I ready to fall in line behind Santa? Not really. And maybe I'm bad for that. Maybe I'm wrong for that. I don't know. But it's not for me yet. Okay. It's not for me at this time. Nothing would please me more than Santa being down in D.C. and what they're doing slowly starts gathering momentum. Next week, we find out there's 30 people down there. And then the next week, we find out there's 50 people down there. And then the next week, we find out there's 100 people down there. And it grows, okay? So if it grows, great, okay? I can't read Santa's heart, what's inside. I mean, I can tell what he says, but I don't know deep in his heart. I can't read that. I don't know. I don't think he's a bad guy, or I think he's got the best of intentions. I think. I don't know that for sure.
At the very least, I hope he does.
I have. God, how do you phrase this, Phil? How do you phrase it without saying the wrong thing and pissing everybody off?
I mean, here's what I have to say about Santa is I hope he succeeds.
Yeah.
I wish him the best. I hope he succeeds where the convoy didn't. I hope he gets DC's attention.
Mm-hmm.
I hope people listen.
Mm-hmm.
I hope thousands of people gather down there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like I tell people, I support what he's trying to do. I just don't know if now is the right time or the right way to do it.
Right.
That's my view on it. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think he's wrong.
Yeah,
about
I don't either.
Wanting change in DC.
Okay.
Now, some of the things he's doing, I don't 100% agree with.
Yeah. Well, the biggest problem I have with Santa, and David, I don't mean this in a bad way. Okay, I really don't mean this. I'm talking to Santa right now. I don't mean this in a bad way. What comes out of your mouth, I agree with, I understand and everything. I don't know. God, how do you say this? How do I say this? God, it's so hard to say stuff. People will take it out of context, or they'll twist it around. God, how do you say it? I don't know. I really don't know how to say it without it coming out wrong. And I don't mean it wrong. Ulterior motives. Let's leave it at that. Okay? What you say versus what you might actually be after, there might be ulterior motives to what you're doing. And I'm concerned about that. And I don't know, I hope I'm wrong. I really do. And time will tell. Time will tell. Do you, God, I don't know how to phrase it any more than that. I really don't know how to phrase it any different than that or better than that. And anything I say it'll just make it sound worse, and I don't mean it to sound worse. But and I hope, high heaven, that his motives for doing this are what he says out of his mouth, and not a different motive that I'm suspicious of. Does that make sense? Phil, do you understand what I'm trying to say?
I kind of do, but I mean, at the same time, I mean, I'm not very suspicious of him.
Yeah.
But then again, I knew Santa before anyone else knew Santa.
Okay, hold on.
I was talking to Santa before he had his YouTube and everything.
Uh-huh.
I actually helped him get that set up. And
all right. Hey,
we talked and stuff the whole way across the country.
Okay, I got a question for you. I'm going to ask you all. I'm going to mute my live stream for a second. I'm going to ask you just one-on-one, and we'll talk for a minute, and then we'll go back to the live stream. I'm going to mute you people just for a second, okay? live. Okay. All right, folks. I unmuted everything. I just wanted to talk your name is Phil, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I wanted to talk to Phil. Mudpig. I want to talk to him off sound. So, but anyway, you understand my concern now, and am I way off base for thinking that way? And don't give it away. Do you understand my concern of the whole thing now?
Yeah.
Okay.
And other people share your concern.
Okay. Okay. All right. Good enough.
But yeah.
I'm not the only one thinking that way. All right. So. All right. Good enough. So, yeah, Joe just tried to call me a second ago, and I sent him to voicemail. So, Mudpig, you're more important than Joe.
I was just gonna say, I gotta get shut down here shortly anyway. I gotta be rolling at 4 a.m. tomorrow.
Yeah.
So I was gonna say, if you want to move on to Joe, I do have a quick question for you, if you don't mind.
All right.
Yeah, are you aware of the panels we do on Saturday nights where we bring a lot of the old convoy people on? Like we'll have Lisa on, we had Mike on. We have a lot of
Vaguely.
people just kind of pop in, what you up to, what are your thoughts, et cetera.
Yeah. Oh, you had Mike Landis on?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Mike Landis on about 2 weeks ago.
Okay. I tried to call him a month ago or something like that, and he didn't answer, so I figured maybe he didn't want to talk. And I
talk to him about every week.
I have no problem with Mike. I have no problem with Brian. I have no problem with any of those guys. I have no problem with Marcus. Okay, I have no problem with them at all. Brian got a little irritated at me at first, right after the Friday breakup in Hagerstown, and I kind of let it out, that everybody's wondering why Brian left. Well, here's why Brian left. Well, I think I'm still a little bit right, but not 100% right, and he got kind of growly at me about it. So, but
well, this is a neutral ground here. They're just been guests have rotated through. Blinky's rotated through. Grey Wolf's been on. Everyone's kind of rotated through, and I didn't know some Saturday you'd want to pop in.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I wouldn't. It'd fine with me. So.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd heard of a panel, but unless I know, like you, I know you. But I've had people, people that I don't personally know have sent me emails or whatever and saying, hey, we'd like to get together and blah, blah. And I remember during the convoy, there were different people wanting to get together and hey, we want to join all these streamers together on one big stream and blah, blah, blah. And I don't know enough about the electronic part of this, the computer part of this stuff.
Okay.
Well, no, oh yeah, let's do that. And what I end up doing is giving control of my YouTube channel over to somebody else, and then they have access. I was always very leery of that because I didn't, they're, we're going to do some kind of thing. We're going to join them all together. And I'm thinking, then maybe I lose 100% control over my channel or something.
No, it's not linked to your YouTube at all.
Okay, no, I'm not talking about you.
Stream it to yours if you want, but it's just click a link and it pops up like a Zoom call.
Okay, but no, they were talking earlier. This is when we were in Hagerstown, and there were some people that I had no idea who they were. They were other streamers, from other whatever. And for all I know, they were somebody that was infiltrators, and were trying to get in and maybe somehow get a backdoor password in to where they could change all my parameters on YouTube or something. And I've worked very hard on my YouTube channel over the years, and I didn't want to make some stupid move and basically open it up for trolls or what do you call them? What's somebody that comes in and steals your passwords and changes everything? What do they call that?
Oh, yeah. They take over your account.
Yeah, and I was always very leery of that because I don't know what I'm doing on a lot of that kind of stuff. But yeah,
this is done with the same software. If you ever jumped into Grey Wolves and seen like where Diego and Texas Girl, they're kind of in the background, guiding them along. It's the same software they're using for Grey Wolves Walk, where everyone can just pop in and out as they want.
Is it Prism?
It's like a Zoom call.
Is it Prism?
No, it's actually done through either Restream or the other one that they use is, what's the one that everyone uses? No. The one that does the tickers on the bottom. Oh, I can't think of the name of it now. It has the duck as the icon. StreamYard.
Oh, I've never even heard of that.
StreamYard or Restream.
Yep. I've never heard of it.
Meeting link you'll get, you pop in. It's just done on a website.
Okay.
There's no app or nothing to it.
Okay. So how do I do it? Do I just make a telephone call to you guys or something, or what?
Well,
or do you call me?
If you're interested, what we'd do is, I have your number, so I'd pass it on, so I don't have to share your number with anyone else. But I'll just have them relay the link to me, and I'll relay it to you, and you just click the link, and it says just like a Zoom call or a web meeting. You just pop in, and you can even do it from a Chromebook if you're concerned about anyone getting your information, something that has nothing logged in on. You don't need to be logged into anything to join,
Okay. Okay. Now, can you do that on your phone, or does it need to be on a laptop, or what?
Yeah, I do it from my phone.
Your phone?
You can do it from your phone, your laptop, anything that can open a website.
Okay. All right. So it's not a telephone app.
No.
Okay. All right. All right. Yeah. I'm not against that at all. No. So.
Okay. Yeah, because they'd love to have you. I mean, you'll recognize some people. Like I said,
Oh, yeah.
Lisa pops in pretty regularly. Blinky's almost there every week. I don't know if you remember Blinky or not. But little
Yep.
Blinky.
I wasn't around Blinky much. He came in toward the end of the convoy, and I never really got to know him. I know he was the guy that had the flatbed and was pulling the flag gear for a while instead of Mike. Yep. Yeah, I remember him. I remember him. I don't know him very well.
The flag, yep.
Yeah. And then who was the other guy? Not Gray Wolf, but Black Wolf. I guess is he still up there with 1776, or what's he doing?
No, he always had popped in and out. Like, he'll pop into my stream every now and then, say hi. But yeah, Black Wolf just kind of popped in and out. I mean, he was in Hagerstown for a while. Then he met up with us at somewhere out in Cali. I remember he met up with us, and they went back to work for a bit. And then he met up with us up at the place where we did all the pizzas. I can't remember that one. The truck stop where we did all the pizzas. Black Wolf met us there.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, but he just hops in and out, or hopped in and out.
Okay.
Because he was working while doing the convoy, because
Right.
like many of us, he couldn't afford to be there,
Right.
So, yeah. All right, well, what I'll do is, I mean, like I said, you have my number, and we'll just keep in touch, and some Saturday evening, you're available, hop in, say hello, and chat. I mean,
sure. Okay.
I can even send you the link to the channel if you kind of want to, some point, just kind of skim through one of them and just kind of see what it's about.
Okay.
Just basically, everyone chatting about what they've been up to,
Okay. All right.
Just kind of free form, neutral space, No one really, how do I put this? No one really controls it. It's just kind of like we all just chat, respect each other, and
Okay. There's no There's no MC or like, hey, I'm in charge. I'm the one.
There kind of is, but it's either Diego or Texas Girl, and Texas Girl's been doing them recently. Like I said, back to Gray Wolf's chat, you would have seen them both on there. They're the two that are in the bottom corner on Gray Wolf's wall.
Okay, right. Yeah, I've seen Gray Wolf's wall.
But they kind of just let us do our thing. Like, as long as we're being respectful of each other, a lot of times they won't even say nothing,
Yeah. Very good. Okay. All right. Well, let me hang up and let me call Joe and see what he's up to and talk to him a little bit, and then I'm going to shut this stream off. So.
All right. Well, thank you for chatting. Glad to hear you're all right. Everyone was concerned, so that's why I said I'd give you a call, and if you were in a hospital bed or something, I was going to have to give you my best wishes and hope for speedy recovery. But sounds like you're doing good.
Okay. Oh yeah, yeah. I wasn't doing good yesterday morning, but after they give me that pain medication, it basically was Tylenol 3, had codeine in it. They gave me that, and the pain kind of went away. And by doing that, it relaxed the muscle down there, if you know what I'm talking about, and it basically. Well, when you first called, I was explaining to everybody, but basically, my butt had a cramp, and it wouldn't release. And then by giving the pain medication, the pain went away. So the muscle goes, oh, thank you. And it's back to pretty good right now. And it's still tender, but it's not like it was. It was so bad. I was writhing in pain for a couple of days there. So, but I'm back to good now.
You're doing good, at least in your voice.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Sound like you're hurt.
No. I'm actually good right now. I'm back to normal. But But that doesn't mean it couldn't start hurting again. And from what I gather, I just take another one of those pain pills and it should go away again. So they gave me a prescription of those and some stool softeners. So, but hopefully that's all I got to do.
All right.
Nothing more serious than nothing more serious than just a big pain in my ass.
Quite literally.
Literally, yeah. So anyway, all right. Well, you be good and be safe out there on the big highways, and don't let the idiots getting the four-wheelers cut you off too much. Okay.
All right. Sounds good. And yeah, and I don't know. You still trucking?
Oh yeah. I came home about two weeks ago. Tuesday was 2 weeks ago, and I come home and I had all these things. And the first part of this video I explained a lot of that. But I went back and I just had things I wanted to get done. I had a cargo trailer that I sold and I had to deliver up to Kansas City. And then, and then I went bus shopping and I bought a school bus. I don't know if you saw that part of it. You weren't watching the video, so you didn't see it, did you?
No, I was actually finishing my delivery and ending my live right before I called you.
All right. Well, after you get off, you can go back and watch the first part of this video. The first 10 minutes, 15 minutes of the video was me talking about going and buying a bus and all this kind of stuff. And I walked through it, and you can see what I bought and everything. And I'm going to turn it into an RV, but I'm not going to do it until this fall when the temperature cools down. Actually, it's really nice right now. We had a cold storm front through here today. It's actually pretty nice right now. But tomorrow, it'll be 104 again tomorrow. So I'm not even going to start. Yeah, I'm not even going to start on it until probably September sometime when it cools off a little bit, late September. So I got to destroy, tear it all down. I got to tear the seats out and tear all the floor and the ceiling and the whole everything and gut it basically, and then start building it back as a RV. So I got a huge project in front of me this fall. So anyway.
All right. Well, you have fun with that. You be safe out on the highways as well. Then.
All right. Very good. All right. Take care. We'll holler at you later, and I'm going to go call Joe real quick, see if he'll answer. All right.
Sounds good. I'll holler at you later.
Later. Bye. Joe's not answering.
Your call has been forwarded to an automated voice messaging system.
I can take your call now. There you go. So anyway, while I'm waiting for Joe to call me back, if he will, hopefully. All right, Joe is live right now. Okay. Can you guys hear me? Somebody sent me a text message saying I'm still muted. Hello?
Hey, you still on?
Yeah.
Okay. So, I've been watching. I don't know how long I've been watching, but I've been watching.
Okay, am I still muted?
No.
Okay, all right. Okay. Hold on here. This is big. Hey, this is Big Mike. This is Big Mike.
Hey, everybody.
And it's not Joe. This is not Joe. This is Big Mike. And not part of the convoy peoples. Mike sent me a message a little bit ago, says you're still muted. And I looked, I'm like, I think it can hear me because I'm not seeing a lot of stuff saying it was muted. So anyway. But
By the time I sent you that message, you unmuted it.
Yeah, I muted just for about 2 minutes there to talk to Phil privately. And but anyway, so what are you up to? What have you been up? Where are you at?
Well, I'm in Indiana.
In Indiana?
Across US 6 today.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. Where are you off to?
I'm going to Scranton, Pennsylvania.
All right, very good. Eastbound,
Mhm.
eastbound and down.
Yep, eastbound and down, loaded up in truck, and we're gonna do what they say can't be done. Actually, I have plenty of time, so it's not rushing at all. So anyway, I don't know. I wanted to chit chat with you, and I've been meaning to call you and just hadn't had a chance.
Okay, you're on
I
live
thought
stream.
about it or whatever.
You're on live stream right now. Is that okay?
Yeah. That's
Okay,
fine.
good enough.
I knew what I was doing when I called you.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. So, but anyway, so I saw your bus,
Yeah,
and yeah. So I thought you weren't gonna do the schoolie thing.
change my mind.
What made you change your mind?
I don't know. Just change my mind.
Okay.
Wanted more room than the van. The van is there. It's just everything you do in that quartzite, van life thing. Everything you do has its pros and cons. Everything.
Yeah.
Okay. You have your freedom to go travel and do whatever, but you have less amenities like a nice hot shower and a flush toilet and unlimited water for your sink. So, but when you're at home, you got all this beautiful, beautiful hot water in a sink and a shower and a flush toilet and a big king size comfortable bed, but you're looking at your neighbor's house.
Yeah.
Okay. The van is very maneuverable. It's small. I could park in front of a Starbucks if I wanted to. I could park in a Walmart parking lot in a slot, and not be hassled like a semi. You pull a semi into Walmart, they might come out and chain your tires nowadays,
Just because you're in there shopping.
Right. Yeah, you go in and buy some groceries, you come out and you got a chain on your tire, and that's not every Walmart. That's certain Walmarts. Depends on the area. It's Walmarts that have gotten tired of drivers throwing their pee bottles on the ground.
And other things in bags.
Exactly. So with that, there's trade-offs for everything, right? And the van was wonderful for fuel mileage, for maneuverability, for comforts. Driving down the road is very nice, air conditioned, the whole. But I went out last winter. I went out to Arizona and drove around that van for a couple months.
Yeah.
And I brought my guitar. And my guitar was in the back of the van and was in the way all the time. And, it just, every time I turned around, I had to move that guitar out of the way, put it away, put it over here, move it here, get it out of the way. I kind of come to the realization a van is wonderful, but it's a little bit too minimalistic. It's a little too small.
It's good for. I've always wanted an RV or a bus or a van or whatever, to go camping in. And I always feel like vans are really great for a weekend or a couple of days extra beyond that.
Yeah. Okay.
And so one of these days I will build a camper van, and it'll be just for going to, like a national park camping.
Week-long vacations.
In, pop the doors open.
Week-long vacations, but still have a place to come home to and have all your shit stored.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. So
the bus
is like long term.
The bus is that's what I'm looking at is full timing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
are you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We're gonna do the full time thing, and I finally got Pam talked into the bus, so I went out and bought one. So we're gonna build the thing up this fall. I'm gonna build the thing up this fall, and then jump in it and go travel around and see what happens, I guess. And then but yeah, money wise, that van, it's a 2020 Ford Transit van, a T350. It's a 1-ton dually. Okay.
Yeah.
I bought that van for $54,000.
Yeah.
I think it's $54,000 is what I paid for that, brand new, December of 2000. And I looked at the prices of those vans right now, and I think I could sell that thing as a cargo van. I could sell it for about $65,000.
Okay.
So it's worth $10,000 more than I paid for it a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
Well, now here's Joe.
You want to talk to you?
Yeah, let me talk to Joe, and I'll call you back later.
Yep, no fun. I mean, you're no fun, but whatever. That's not what I meant to say. But, all right.
Bye.
Bye.
Hello.
What's up, Stan the man?
There he is. There's Joe. You're live. You're live on the Sasnak show.
And you're live on First Responders Music
Very
Show.
good. Very good. We're doing a double live here. Well,
Double live. Double whammy.
yeah, we're double live here. So
So, how you doing?
I
The
am-
question was,
I am-
how is Sasnak? After I got off the phone last night and everybody found out you were at the ER,
oh yeah.
it put everybody in a
Everybody,
worry phase.
I went back this morning and watched your video. I had to find it. It took a long time to figure out where in the hell it was because it's a 24-hour live stream. There was like 6 different videos. I finally found the little section where you called and talked to me. What I did is I watched through the videos, just kind of fast forward until I saw the sundown and went a little bit farther because I knew what time you called me and it was dark. And okay, it's daytime here. I know he's not talking to me there. So I finally figured out where he was, and I watched that little section there where you talked to me. And oh man, the comments section went through the roof. Oh my God, Stan's dying. Oh, he's rest in peace, Sasnak. And all.
Did you die?
No, yeah, I died. I died and went to hell. Yeah. No, but yeah, no, it was more of a precautionary thing. The doctor, I was having such pain in the back door area. And I've already went through these people. I don't want to put my people back through that whole thing again. If your people want to watch it, watch my video, or in my video about 30 minutes in or so, I explain all that. But basically I'm going to say it real fast and brutal, but very, very fast. My sphincter had a spasm and I had a pain in my ass. I had a butt cramp. I had a sphincter cramp. The muscle around your sphincter muscle around your anus went into a spasm basically. I thought I had hemorrhoids because it hurt so bad. Kind of find out, doc looked in there and found out there wasn't any hemorrhoids, and he goes, it's not that. And Big Mike, a friend of mine from the Arizona area, from Quartzsite, he lives here in the Dallas area, but I met him out in Quartzsite. And he called, and we would get to talking, and then you called, and I'm like, hey, Mike, I got to talk to Joe. Okay, so anyway.
All right, I'll let you get back to your stream.
No, I'm good. Any other? Yeah, that's all you wanted?
No.
Oh, you said in chat. Wait, I got time.
All right, 1 second. Let me go grab a bottle of water.
All right,
All right.
folks. My phone just did low power modes. I don't know how much longer this battery's going to last. I might have to take my mic out and plug a power cord in. Okay.
You know what? I got to order one of those wireless mics you have.
Oh, they're nice.
Because sometimes I have a very hard time hearing Santa.
That DJI mic is what it's called.
Yeah, the DJI Go Wireless 2 mic. They're about
No,
100.
no, not the DJI Go Wire. The Go Wireless, that's a Rode mic.
Oh yeah, you know what? You're right.
The
You're
DJI
correct.
one is better. The DJI, it's the one that makes the drones. The drone DJI make the drones. Okay, DJI mic, MIC. Just go to Amazon or whatever, and it's about $350, but it's a really nice little kit.
No, I think I'm okay with $350 right now.
No, well, the wireless Go, it's $250, something like that. So it's not any.
Wireless Go is like $150.
Okay, well, they must have came down. They used to be a lot more expensive. They must have came way down in price then. But yeah, this one here, it was like $350, but man, it is a nice one. It works really well. Super simple to work. Super simple. It's just you just pull it out of the case and clip it on, and you're done. It's ready to go. So, and you got 2 of them in there. You know, it's a system.
I'm back. What happened?
Huh? What? Who? What? Huh?
What?
But anyway, so you're downtown, right? You still you spent the night down on your lawn chair or what?
Yes, what happened is a couple of days ago we needed funding to stay out here.
Yeah.
So some of the viewers came up with an idea that I started 24-hour stream event and started gifts and go account.
Okay.
To help me pay for my stay here.
Okay. Your hotels and
hotels.
Where are you getting around? You rent a car or something? Because you're the bean's back home,
Uber,
isn't it?
Scooters, flights. I flew in.
Yeah.
The black bean is broken at home right now. The transmission's out.
Yeah, I heard. Yeah.
So that's what happened. That's how I ended up doing a 24-hour stream.
Okay, so wait, hold on. You flew from California into DC, and then how do you drive around and get back and forth to the hotel?
Uber.
Oh, Uber. Okay, Uber.
Yeah.
I thought you said scooters. Those little electric scooters.
Here, like right now, if we're hungry, we'll go rent a scooter and
okay.
take the scooter wherever we go eat.
Okay.
It. After we finish, if the scooter's still there, we get the same scooter. If not, we have to walk a couple of blocks.
Okay.
And find another scooter to get back.
Okay.
But also, Quincy rented a vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes our timing does not match. I have to be here earlier, or I decide to be here earlier.
Yeah.
Or later. So I have to Uber back and forth. Like this morning I Uber. This afternoon I Uber back here.
Mm-hmm. And all that costs money. Yeah.
And all that's a lot of money. I mean, DC is not cheap.
Right.
DC is probably one of the most expensive places to stay at.
Right.
Due to the fact that they're just so expensive.
Right. Yep.
I mean, rooms ain't cheap, so that's where the
fundraising
started from.
Yeah.
So we reached the goal.
Okay.
Which is probably not going to cover the whole time I'm here. It's probably just going to cover the hotel stays.
Mm-hmm.
We're averaging about 150 to 160 a night on hotel. Right now, I'm splitting that cost with Quincy, but Quincy's not going to stay here much longer.
Quincy is BCP?
Yeah, Quincy's Black Conservative Preacher.
Got it. Okay, I didn't know his first name.
When he leaves, Oreo's staying in his van, so he don't have to need to have that expense.
Yeah.
So once Quincy leaves, my bill for the hotel stays and just shoot up.
Yeah.
100%, double the price.
Right.
So if you think about it, we're paying 160, 170, 200 on the weekends.
Mm-hmm.
You times that times 10, times that times 20, that's already $4 or $5
Yep.
just on hotel.
Yeah.
That's not counting $15 Uber ride with whatever tip you want to give them in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Same price in the afternoon. That's not counting $5, $6 scooter rides we take in the day. So that's not counting. If we're in DC, you go to any place, the food's nasty, and the cheapest plate is about $15.
You talking about what about those the food trucks? I thought those were pretty good.
They're nasty, and like I stated, they're about $15-$20. You want to either. Quincy went down to last time we were here. He got a root beer float. It was soft serve ice cream with a little bit of root beer. $10.
Wow. Yep. You need to become a politician. You'd have plenty of money then.
Right?
Yeah. North Star just made a comment. DC is uber expensive.
Yeah, it's super expensive. Yeah.
Uber expensive.
But the funny part, it's cheaper to use Uber than to rent a vehicle.
Right.
You rent a vehicle.
Yeah.
$50, $60 a day, right?
Yeah.
Then you got to pay fuel.
Yep. And you got to park it. Pay to park it.
Near here,
and you got to pay to park it. Yeah. And then you got to worry about a car that you rent a car and they tow the damn thing. You know.
Yeah. And on top of that, every hotel nearby here charges an arm and a leg to park overnight.
Oh, really?
The first night we stayed here at the Holiday Inn, which was a block and a half away from the National Mall.
Okay.
The room was $180 a night.
Mm-hmm.
On top of that, it was a $53.50 parking fee.
Wow.
$53 to park at the property you're supposed to be staying at.
Wow.
I mean, the stuff they get away with. Plus, you don't get your free breakfast in the morning like any other regular hotel.
Yeah. No.
The Holiday Inn,
continental breakfast.
Nice hotels.
Yeah.
When you're staying at different properties across the nation. Not here in DC.
Yeah.
It was like $18, $19 if you wanted to eat their continental breakfast or their buffet in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that was part of the 24-hour stream to get funding to stay here.
Okay.
People respond. The viewers responded. I mean, we have great American people who wants other streamers to be out here.
Right.
They're supporting us.
Right.
Who want the 1776 restoration movement to keep pushing forward.
Right.
We have still the full support of a lot of American patriots.
Yep. Okay. Great.
I mean, a lot of people are saying what, there's not plenty of us here. Yeah, they're right. There's not plenty of us, but it's time where the hashtag starts. Either show up or shut up. I mean, we're out here. Everybody wanted a date to be here.
Yeah.
We're here with that date right now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, people ain't showing up. And I told everybody it's time. And this is not going to the people that can't be here. This is not going to the people that
obviously, yeah.
financial reasons, for physical reasons, cannot be here at the morning. This is going for the people that could actually take a week or two off from work and show up.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah.
well, that's
So,
where we're at right now.
Yeah.
So what's up with you?
Well, I came home, been out trucking and everything, just doing my summertime work and work during the summer to make a little money so I can take the winters off and stuff. And that's the reason I come out across the convoy in the first place. I was out in Arizona taking time off in the winter and bumped into the convoy. So, but anyway, that's kind of what I do. I drive during the summers, and in the winter I take off and go get in my van and go travel around and stay in Arizona out of the winter snowstorms and stuff like that. And so yeah, I've just been working through the summer, building the savings account up a little bit, and it's that way that in the fall I can take the rest of the winter off again like I did. And just kind of my regular, what's becoming my regular annual rotation, I guess, or whatever. So I've been doing that, and needed to come home and take care of a few things. I needed to sell a trailer. I needed to buy I bought a bus, a school bus. It's an actual school bus, but it was never a school bus. It was a church bus. It's a Bluebird bus that was sold originally to a church, and the church had it for I don't know how many years. And then a guy bought it, and he was going to build a camper out of it, and never got around to it. He had it for about a year and a half, and it just sat there. And he said, I need to, I'm not getting anything done on it. So he decided to sell it, and that's why I found it. So now I got a school bus, and this fall, around September, I'm going to start tearing it apart and rebuilding it and turn it into an RV. You know what a schoolie is, right?
A what?
You know what a schoolie is, right?
No.
A school bus that's been turned into an RV, a homemade RV. Okay. It's called a schoolie. So I'm going to build a schoolie this fall, and then I guess around Christmas or New Year's or somewhere around there, January, take off and start living in it full time, I guess. So
is Pam coming along with you?
That's the plan. That's the plan. We'll see if she can handle it, but it's a different kind of life than what she's used to, and that's one of the reasons to get a school bus, because it's bigger. I've got that van. When you first met me, I was in that Ford Transit van. Okay, my regular van. I've turned into a camper van. It's just not big enough for two people. So it was made for one person, and if she's going to go, I got to have more room. So I'm going to build the bus out, and she can get in it, and we can go travel around. And if she likes it, she can stay in it. If she doesn't, she can always just come back to her house, and we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But as of right now, the plan is for her to get in the bus and go travel with me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sell I'm going to disassemble the van, use all the parts and everything, like the solar and the batteries and water tanks and all that kind of stuff. I'm going to disassemble the van, turn it back into a cargo van, use a lot of that material so I don't have to buy it all again, use all that stuff that's inside the van and transfer it over into the bus, build the bus up. If I need more solar, I can just add to that system. If I need more batteries, I can add to it. But anyway, to build that system, build the bus out, and then once that's done, the van should be back to a cargo van state by December. I can go down and register the bus, register and buy a Jeep, and we'll pull the Jeep behind the bus, and we'll travel around that way. And basically take the bus out somewhere, you park it, and then use the Jeep to go drive around and explore the area. And then after you've explored that area for a month or so, you pack up and you move somewhere else, and you park the van or the bus, and you use the Jeep to go travel around. It's kind of a nomadic lifestyle. So that's kind of the idea. So I've got a lot of, kind of the rest of my year kind of planned out. I'm going to, I came home to get a colonoscopy done, and that ended up
And that turned out to be a pain in the ass.
pain in the ass. Yeah, we just talked about that. So now that that's done, probably I got a dentist appointment on Monday. They're going to look, well, it's a dental cleaning for one, but also the dentist is going to look at that implant where my tooth is missing and look and see how that's progressing. And then probably around late August, I don't expect him to do anything on Monday, but he can look at it and go, okay, yeah, here in another month we can work on it. So maybe late August they'll they'll go ahead and put my tooth in, so I'll look back to normal. But that's kind of. But anyway, Monday I've got a dentist appointment, and then I'm probably Monday afternoon I'll get in the truck and take off and start trucking again for the rest of till the end of August. At the end of August or maybe early September, when the worst of the heat is over, come back home to Texas and start tearing the bus apart. And I got about 4 months to build that, tear the bus apart and build it all back up. Basically, how school buses built. Now, not your California school buses. You have those old-fashioned looking buses out there, But just a regular school buses you see everywhere. Well, remember the bus that was in the convoy, that yellow bus the guy was living in? Okay. You know what a school bus is? This has got all the seats in it and everything. So I got to tear all the seats out. I got to tear the flooring out, get it all the way down to metal. The walls, I got to tear all the windows out. On the inside, you've got the outer skin and the inner skin, and then you got insulation inside in between the two. It's about a 2-inch gap, and you got to tear that fiberglass insulation out. Once it's all done, you scrub it and clean it and power wash it, whatever you want to do. But you get it down to as clean as you can, and then you paint it inside and out, okay? And then you spray foam the inside, okay? Then you put your windows back in that you want back in. The ones you don't want back in, you put sheet metal. You take the windows out, and where you don't want windows out, you put sheet metal on there, okay? And I've got 11 windows on it. It's an 11-window bus. And out of those 11 windows, I'm only going to have 4 left over. I have 3 up front where the living room area is, and then 1 back in the bedroom area on each side. So a total of 8 windows. Out of 22 windows, I'll be down to 8 windows.
So this is a do-it-yourself project?
Kind of, yeah. The sheet metal, I'll probably hire that done because they have all the machine. They can do it in a day or 2. It'd take me a week and a half, 2 weeks to do it, and I'd have to buy all the machinery, the rivet guns, the air chisels, all that kind of stuff. So I can strip it down as much as I can, take it to them, have them chisel off everything, and I can buy my own air chisel and chisel all the sheet metal off. But when it comes to actually cutting the sheet metal and putting it up there and riveting it in and all that, I think I'll just have a company do that. It's a trailer repair shop in Dallas.
So are you planning to make videos of the whole process?
Oh yeah,
from, start to end?
Oh yeah, yep.
So that'll be the content you'll be producing?
That'll be the combat from September on till December. That'll be mainly the content of me, what I'm doing day to day on the bus and whatever. And it won't be like a how-to. It'll be like, I'm going to do this and I'll do it, and then I'll show the finish. Well, this is what we did today kind of stuff, I don't know how much of that I'll live stream or make videos of or how I'll do it. But anyway, and then come December after Christmas, I would imagine the bus will be at least livable. It might not be completely finished, but it'll be livable. It might not have all the finishing touches on it, but it'll be 90% done or whatever. And we go travel around in it and see how everything works out. And then maybe next spring, come back to Texas and maybe finish trimming out the bus or whatever. And because Pam's retiring in about 3 more weeks, about 2.5 more weeks, she's retiring from her job. She's done.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kelly.
I don't know when she started there. I don't know, but she's been working there for like 24, 28 years, something like that, a long time.
So once the bus is completed, do you have like a little itinerary of the first states you guys want to visit?
Once the bus is done in January, December, whatever, January we'll even go out to Quartzsite and go out to there's a big gathering out there. I go out to every year, and bunch of nomad living people, people live in their RVs or buses or vans or whatever. There's people who live in Priuses, go out there and hang out, but anyway, I don't know how to explain it to somebody that doesn't know anything about it. It's hard to explain. But anyway, they go out there and they hang out because the winters are mild in Arizona in the winter. In Nebraska, it's 20 below zero and a big blizzard. You're down in Arizona at 65 degrees and sunshine. So anyway, we go down there and hang out for the winter, and then come springtime, you just kind of start moving north up to Montana as the weather. You just stay where you head to where 75 degrees during the day and 55 degrees at night, and you just move north with the seasons. And then get up there and spend most of the summer in Montana, and then when all
right.
Yeah,
All right,
folks,
man.
my camera's buffering because the batteries are getting really low. I'm down to 10% on my battery on my live stream here.
Yeah,
So
we're getting ready here for the nightly meeting too. So it
Yeah.
was nice talking to you. We'll
All
finish
right.
this conversation maybe tomorrow.
okay, sure, yeah.
Okay.
Don't be a stranger.
Part 2 with Sasnak coming
Part
tomorrow,
two,
guys.
part 2 with Sasnak. There you go. All right,
We'll see you then. Thank you, Sass.
all right. Take care, Joe. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye.
All right, folks. I just looked up and saw the screen was frozen. It said low power mode, and when it gets really low on battery, at 25%, I think it shows low battery, and it'll stop the camera from working, I think. So I have to hit that, and I did that a little while ago, and now we're down to 10%. So I'm getting really low on battery on this phone here. So I think it'd be a good time to go ahead and shut it off, I think. But yeah, that's why it was buffering, I think, is because it shut off. It went into low power mode. So anyway, yeah, you've talked to everybody today. 183 minutes. Man, that's 3 hours. Wow. No. Yeah, that's 3 hour video. But anyway, you guys talking the whole time to somebody, talking to you guys about the bus and telling me my little story about the ER last night, and talking to Phil, Mudpig, talked to Joe a little bit there, and talked to Mike a little bit. I'll call Mike back here in a minute after I get off the stream, talk to him a little bit. But anyway, yeah, it's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day out here. It's turning you around. Yeah, it's a beautiful day out here. The storms came through this morning. It was all overcast, and thunderstorms came through, and it poured rain for a little while, and that cooled everything off. So it never got hot today. It'll be hot tomorrow, though. It'll be really hot again tomorrow. So, but right now it's actually pretty nice, So, what I got to do is I got to go out to the bus and start taking measurements so I can go home and do a CAD drawing on the computer of actual measurements of this bus, and start planning out where everything's going to go. I've made a CAD drawing of where I think everything will go, but I don't know where the wheel wells and all the different things. I don't know exactly where everything was going to go, so I want to go and make actual drawings of the measurements, so I can have accurate drawings and plan out a floor plan exactly. So that's what I'm going to do here in the next, couple minutes as soon as I get off the stream here. Somebody sent me money I got $30 on Super Chats. So somebody sent me a $10 Super Chat, and somebody sent me a $20 Super Chat. Whoever you were, thank you. I didn't notice them until just now. I see that there's $30 up here. So thank you, whoever you were. Sorry for missing them. But wasp. Anyway, hope you enjoyed today. I haven't done a video for several days simply because I did a video and then I got busy doing things, and then I ought to do a video tomorrow, and then things started hurting and I just didn't feel like coming out here and doing that. And also it was 100 degrees out here, and I just come out here and sit and be temperature miserable, but also pain miserable. And so I was kind of curled up on the couch there for about 4 days. But everything seems to be okay now. So yeah, it did. It hurt a lot. Who was that? Stranger Garrett. Yeah, it hurt a lot. I got my youngest sister. She had hemorrhoids. She had hemorrhoid surgery while she was pregnant, and she said giving birth was nothing compared to hemorrhoid surgery. That's how bad it hurt. Yeah. It was bad. So anyway, and it wasn't hemorrhoids. I don't have hemorrhoids. You know, I have them, but they weren't flared up. It was that other thing we talked about. So anyway, enough's enough, I guess. I'm going to go out and do some measurizing. I'm going to do some measurizing out there on the bus and everything, and then call it a day and head back home and get on the computer tonight and start doing that and start planning out. I've got a whole bunch of things on Amazon ready to order, but I wanted to get exact measurements first before I actually ordered them and everything. Okay, so anyway, sorry I was gone for so long. I wouldn't have been gone. I was going to be gone for 4 or 5 days, and about the time I wanted to come back out here and make a video, show you the bus, all that, I was going to come out on Saturday, and I started hurting on Saturday. And then Sunday was terrible, and it just, and I get up, every night I go to bed thinking, all right, tomorrow morning I'm going to get up early and I'm going to come out here before it gets too hot. And I get up in the morning and it just, when you don't feel good, you just don't feel like doing anything. So yeah, and I didn't feel good at all for several days. My little cardinal, my little red bird, I guess it's a cardinal. I thought cardinals were bigger than that though. That's kind of a small bird. I thought, how big a robin is? I thought a cardinal was at least as big as a robin, if not bigger. And that's a little bitty bird, so. I got a bluebird out here too flying around, not today, but bluebird and a robin and a whole bunch of sparrows. And a lot of wasps. I got a lot of not hornets, but like mud daubers and stuff like that around here. So. All right, that's it, folks. And sorry if didn't answer a lot of your questions. I was so busy talking with everybody else today and just didn't get around to it, I guess. But there you go. Cardinals are as big as robins. Okay, well, that's a red bird. Looks just like a cardinal, but it's much smaller. It's only about, if it's sitting on my hand, its head would only be about that. About that high. I mean, that's how small that bird is. Okay, its head would be right up here, the top of its head, if it was perched on my hand or my finger right now. I would think a robin would be 6 inches tall, from the perch up to the top of his head. That thing's as small as a sparrow. Bright red, has all that. It looks just like a cardinal. I don't know. Redbird and bluebird. Need a white bird. Red bird, white bird, and bluebird. I got a bluebird. Right there. That's the bluebird. So anyway, good enough. Y'all be good, folks, and I will be back. Don't know when exactly. Like I said, I got a dentist appointment on Monday and probably be trucking after that. Got to go in and get this looked into, how he wants to do an x-ray on it and everything. And see how it's seating in well, and probably give me the okay to go ahead and make an appointment to have the rest of it, the implant put in, or the tooth put into the implant. The implant's already in here. So, all right, with that, folks, y'all be good, take care, and God bless you. Thank you very much, and thanks for all the prayers and all that. I wasn't that sick. It wasn't like I was in the hospital dying or anything. But yeah, I got a kick out of that this morning. I went back and watched Joe's live stream from the other day, or last night, he calls me, and I just happen to be sitting in the ER waiting for the doctor to come in and whisk me off to a CAT scan. And they saw it, and saw, oh, Stan's in the ER. Oh my God! And Stan's dying of COVID. He's dying of cancer. He's having a sex change. So yeah, no, nothing like that. But yeah, thanks for all the concerns and everything, folks. Appreciate that. And then back when I was talking to Mud Pig and everything, I hope you understand why I don't plan on going back up to the DC area. I think I can do just as much, getting the word out. I can do just as much from wherever I'm at, talking about it. I can be in Alaska talking about it. I can be here on the porch. I can be right down in DC. People know about it. People that watch this channel already know about it. It's not like a secret that, hey, Stan goes to, I go to DC, and suddenly I'm sitting in a lawn chair in DC with the other guys, that 1 million people are going to just show up because of me, and I've got other things in my life that I'm more interested in doing at the moment, and I'll talk about it. I'll talk, what Gray Wolf is doing. Somebody made a comment here. I just caught it earlier. A couple hours ago, that Gray Wolf called it quits on his walk across America. I don't know. That wouldn't surprise me, because he's having trouble with blisters. What you doing? Woof, 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 woof. There we go. My neighbor's dog. She's spooky as heck. She won't let you pet her or anything like that. Now I'll go over to their house. All of a sudden, they're as nice as can be. There he is. What you doing? Huh? There you go. This is the Merle. This is his Australian Shepherd, Merle. Yeah, he's a puppy still. Yeah, you're a sweetheart. Your little friend there, she's awful skittish. But yeah, he's a little pup. He's probably, how old are you? About 6, 8 months, something like that? Is that right? Yeah, okay. 6 or 8 months, he said, yeah. So, yeah, a little Australian Shepherd. You're going to be big, and you got big paws, so you're going to be big when you get older. So, there you go. All right. But yeah, I think I can do as much here or anywhere else rather than sitting down there on the mall. Nope. Okay. Rather than sitting down on a mall. Gray Wolf, what? He has not called it quit. Okay. Oh, Ron just sent me a text. I am taking a day to heal the ball. Gray Wolf, just now. Somebody sent you a message earlier and said Gray Wolf was calling it quits. And Ron just sent me a text message. Let me pull it up on this phone here. There you go. Right there. Oop, come on, focus. Focus, focus, too close. Anyway, I'm going to read it to you. This is the other day. No streaming today. He says, it's been a rough morning. Been getting ready. Been a rough morning. This is a week ago. He sent me this Sunday. Now that you have a bus, you could be the walk line shuttle. Sorry, Ron, I'm not going to use my bus to do your shuttle. I got things I got to get done, but I'm going to be tearing it apart and all that here. But anyway, just now I just made a comment that did Gray Wolf quit or whatever. He immediately sent me a message. I am taking the day to heal the ball of foot blisters. I guess on the ball of his foot, he's got some blisters and everything. He's had trouble with blisters. And he says, I don't quit. So there you go. Heard it from the horse's mouth. I don't quit right here. I don't quit. I don't quit. So there you go. So there you go. Ron Coleman. He is not quitting. He is just taking the day off to heal his blisters. And he did that a week ago, maybe. He took a day to try to heal it. You walk all that way. He's 100 miles in so far, something like that. So he's got a long way to go. But all the best to you, Ron. Hope hope you accomplish it. So, but yeah, no, you're looking for a bus, and no, you can't have mine because I'm gonna be doing stuff with it. So I'm gonna be tearing it apart and everything, working on it. So, and in the meantime, it's not registered, it's not tagged or any of that kind of stuff yet. I don't want to do that until December because of Texas law. Chief, go away. You're too big and stinky. Been down in the pond. Chief is my neighbor's other dog. All three of his dogs come over here. He's a big Saint Bernard, and he just slobbers all over you. And he goes down in the pond and swims around and everything, comes up, and he just stinks to hell. So, but he's a sweet dog. He's a Saint Bernard. He just slobbers everywhere. But yeah, Ron, you make it all the way across country. That'll be a hell of an achievement, and I hope it all works out. Like I said earlier in the video, everybody has their idea of what they should be doing, and Ron is doing what he thinks he should be doing. Joe is doing what he thinks he should be doing. Phil, Mudpig, he's doing what he thinks he should be doing. I'm getting photobombed by the dog. Mike and Brian and Marcus and all that, they're doing what they think they should be doing, okay? Whatever that is, I don't know. You tell me. But, and I'm doing what I think I should be doing. I should be doing what I think I should be doing, which is doing what I'm doing. I'm trucking, I'm making some money, I'm selling things, buying things, getting things lined up for later in my life, later in the year. And I can't just snap my fingers and build a bus in a day. So I had to find it, I have to plan it all out, I got to build the thing, I was going to have to do all this kind of stuff, and all that's going to take money too. So you get the idea. But eventually, I don't have to be. There's a lot of. I got all kinds of comments on. I was watching a lot of Joe's live streams when I was sitting there hurting at home. I'm sitting there on the couch, TV's on, I got it muted. I'm sitting there watching Joe, and I'm reading some of the comments and everything. Where's Sasnak at? Why isn't he up here with you? Because I got other things to do. Okay. And I can talk about the convoy, or not the convoy, 1776 movement. I can I lost my train of thought there. I can talk about it. I can encourage it. I can talk about Grey Wolf. I can talk about Brian. I don't know what Brian's doing right at the moment. I don't follow him that much. He's on Facebook, and I'm not on Facebook that much. I ought to talk to him. I ought to call Mike and see if he'll answer. I don't know. He may or may not answer. I don't know. But I haven't talked to Marcus in a while. Last time I talked to him was 3 or 4 weeks ago, and he called me. I just visited with him. Hi, how you doing? And we talked a little bit. And I know Marcus is chomping at the bit to make things, not make things right. That's not the way to phrase it. Lay it all out in the open. That's the way. Yeah, to show everybody that he didn't do anything shady, okay, with the money and all that. So, but it takes time to do that, that audit that they're going through, I guess, or whatever. So yeah, give it time and let it play out, So yeah, everybody, they kind of doing what they think they need to do. The people that are down in DC, they're doing what they think they need to do. The people in Bunker Hill are doing the things that they think they need to do. So yeah, leave it at that. It's just, I can remember back during the convoy, there was a lot of discussion, a lot of, not arguments, but just like, I can't believe they're doing this, and this is stupid, and why am I even here, blah, 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 if they're not even going to do that or whatever. And now that the convoy, the TPC, has dissolved, a lot of these people that had their own ideas, they're off doing those things that they thought was right, you know, that they want to go do, that they think will bring attention to the cause. So, but anyway, yeah. So there you go. That's my take on it, I guess. But at why I'm not in DC, I mean, it bothers me a little bit that people, why stand up here, you know, whatever. But I also realize a lot of the people that are being shitty like that are not all, I shouldn't say all, a lot of, some of the people that are being shitty about that, they're just trying to stir stuff up. They're trolls. They're trying to get shit stirred up, okay? And I've kind of learned to ignore those kind of people, you know? Just, I don't care what they think, you know? So anyway, yeah. I guess I'm just kind of rambling now, so I think it's a good time to cut the video. And y'all be good and take care. I imagine I'm about down to 1% on a battery, and the thing's going to cut off anytime anyway. So y'all be good. Be careful and all that. And Lisa, I guess you said. What? No, Lisa. See, this is my own mod. Now, if he was to call it quits, I would understand. This is Grey Wolf. If Grey Wolf was to call it quits, I'd understand because he's having a hell of a time with those blisters, okay? Somebody made a comment in the chat a while ago and said something about Grey Wolf, called it quits. And I'm like, oh, well, it's news to me, okay? And I just mentioned that somebody had left the comment. And Grey Wolf immediately sent a text and said, no, I'm not calling it quits. I'm just taking the time off to heal my blisters. Good enough. Heard it right from him. You saw it. You heard it right from him, okay? But, yeah, it just... What I'm saying is, if somebody, let's just say Ron, if Ron was to call it quits, I could understand. It's a medical problem. I mean, if he's having problems with his feet, I can understand that. If you're physically able to do, that's a long way to walk, you know, and hopefully he's toughening up, I think, because, you know, when you first start walking out, your feet aren't used to that, okay? And you've got to toughen them up. You know, it's just like playing the guitar. You got to toughen your fingers. You get calluses on your tips of your fingers. You got to toughen your feet up and everything, and he's in the process of doing that, okay? So, yeah, not that I want him to quit. That's, God, I mean, just, no. That's not what I said. That's not what it's not the way I meant it. So, yeah. Anyway. All right. Well, anyway, enough said. I am done for the day. I've caused enough damage for the day. Y'all be good. Take care. It's 204 minutes. What is that? 3.5 hours? Something like that. So, yeah. All right, good enough. Y'all be good, take care, and I'm gonna go measure the bus and everything, and then I'm heading home. And I don't know when I'll get back to you. Might be tomorrow, might be a week from now. I'm not sure. But I should be back trucking next week. Like I said, I got a dentist appointment on Monday morning, probably Monday afternoon. Hopefully I'll be dispatched and going off to do something. So there you go. Y'all be good, take care, and we will see you whenever. Y'all take care. Bye-bye. How do you turn this thing off?